Okay, we are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome to this Friday night stream. I just thought it'd be hilarious just to make a weird face off the jump of this stream. Really, honestly, I had no idea what to title this stream because there was literally no news at all going on this week. So I just kind of threw stuff in there. Khamzat Chimaev, Colby Covington, uh, UFC Vegas 56. Jon Jones, Francis Ngannou, just all threw it all in there. I don't know if we're going to talk about all that. I'm sure we probably will touch on some of it just because it's in the title. But anything really you guys want to talk about, just throw it into the chat. Throw it into the chat. It looks like I had a little bit of a delay there, but I think everything's good now. At least I hope everything's good now. Okay, it looks like everything's good. As always, do not forget to like the stream. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We are just creeping towards 4,000. We're at 3,459 subscribers, and that's with, I'm trying to think. I didn't do a video yesterday, I think. So it's been about, I think Wednesday was the last time I did a video. So I had a little bit of an off period of 2 days with no videos, just because there wasn't a lot going on. I figured I'd take a little bit of a break anyway. Especially considering UFC 275 fight week is coming up this week. We're going to do a lot of prediction videos, at least 3, going off the top of my head. And then, of course, we're going to do some streams. Probably do a Friday night stream next Friday as well. Maybe another long one like we did before UFC 274. It seems like it's a lot of fun the day before like a big fight card to do a long stream where we just talk about, but now we have all the information. We've seen the press conferences. We've seen the weigh-ins. We've seen everything, and now we can just talk about the fights. We know what fights are canceled. We know what fights are on. So we'll probably do something like that next week as well. And I can't wait. I mean, UFC 275, don't get me wrong. I've kind of trashed it a little bit. Let me just pull it up real quick. I've trashed it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm super hyped for Yuri Prochazka, Glover Teixeira. That fight's amazing. And also Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk is an amazing fight as well. So it's like, I don't want to crap on it too much. It's not as good as 274. But, 276 is right around the corner, and it is stacked from top to bottom. I think they even added Ian Gary to the fight card today, which not like Ian Gary's some big draw, but it's just another semi-notable fight. I might even do a prediction video for that for 276. 276, I'm going to have to start working on prediction videos 2 weeks in advance because there's like 9 fights I want to do predictions for. And so I got to make graphics. I got to, research the fights because I can't just remember everything right off the top of my head. We got a lot coming up for sure. We got a lot coming up. What's up, French fries? I hope you're doing well, man. Hey, MMA Joey. It's Anthony back at it again, watching your stream at Amazon. My guy, Anthony Martinez. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you risking your job to watch the stream. I appreciate it. Blaze One Sports, what's going on, man? Thank you for being a member. What's going on? What's up, Alex? Hope you're doing well. What's up, bro? News on Colby Khamzat? No, I just really want that fight to happen. That's why I just threw it in the title. I didn't know what the title of this stream, to be honest. I'm not like trying to clickbait or anything. I figured we could talk about that fight. I did a list of top 5 fights that need to be made in 2022, and that was in my honorable mentions. Jones versus Nganu was on the list. So I figured I didn't know what else to throw into the stream title because there's literally been no MMA news. There's been none. So what do I put in the title? What do I put in the title? That's why I just decided to throw some stuff in the title. And then usually sometimes, depending on what we talk about, I will tweak the title after the fact. So if there's anything in particular you guys want to talk about, let's look up MMA fighting. Yeah, the website is just barren. There's really nothing going on. There's just nothing. We're just dead. We're dead on MMA news. I mean, we got that massive dump of news way back early May, and now we're that's why we haven't got any real fight announcements because it all came out. It all came out at once. But hopefully it'll pick back up soon. I'm looking on Twitter right now and see if there's anything I've missed on Twitter. I seen a picture of you on the NJ and I just, for a second, I thought, oh no, our fight's going to be canceled. let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything going on. Apparently uh there's some boxing match it looks like going on. I don't pay attention to that stuff. As you guys know. Yeah. So we'll see. What's up, Joey? How was your day? My day was good. How was yours? Whitaker versus Vettori. Who do you got? I'm taking Whitaker. I think the grappling will cancel each other out. I think Whitaker's the better striker, has more power, has more speeds, technically better. Um, Jones versus Stipe in Stipe's prime would have been crazy. Really doubt Francis fights in the UFC again. I hope he does. I'm going to hold out hope until we get confirmation. I feel like something big is happening because no one has said anything. Who knows? Who knows what could be going on? You've probably said your take on this, but Artie, who would you take between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou? Okay. Jon Jones, Francis Ngannou. Whew. I mean, to be honest, I could flip back and forth on that fight. I really could. But that's such a hard fight to pick because Jon Jones hasn't fought for literally 2.5 years. I think it's coming up on, right? Yeah, because he fought in February of 2020, right before the shutdown, and he hasn't fought since. So now he's coming back after a long layoff. He hasn't, he didn't look particularly good in that fight. A lot of people thought Dominic Reyes won, which I don't have a problem with. And now he's coming back against an absolute killer in Francis Ngannou, who has not brutal knockout power, but his wrestling has ever improved. Look at what happened in the Ciryl fight. He won it with his grappling. So it feels like everything is going against Jones. But I've said it before. I used to not be a believer in Jon Jones. I picked Lyoto Machida to beat him. I used to not be a big believer. The guy rises to the occasion almost every time. And what I mean by that is when somebody's saying, oh, this guy doesn't deserve a title shot, this guy isn't that good, Jon Jones goes out there and shits the bed. But when you're like, oh, this is the guy to really beat Jones, Jones comes out and he looks better than ever. We've seen it in the second Gus fight. Everyone said, yeah, Gus beat him in the first fight. Gus is going to beat him in this rematch. The rematch was competitive until it wasn't. He got Gus down and just bodied him. Look in the DC fights. People were like, DC's the guy to beat him. He beat DC for 5 rounds. And then in the rematch, brutally head kicked him, chased him down, hunted him down, and brutally finished him with elbows. Every time it's the time for Jon Jones to lose, he goes out there and looks better than ever. He fights to the perceived level of his competition. And I think Jones coming back 2 years off, 2.5 years off, maybe even 3. It's going to be 3 years by the time he fights again. Coming back against a guy like Francis Ngannou. And everyone says this is the time we're going to see Jon Jones get KO'd. It would not shock me. This is going to sound crazy because Jon Jones has no power in his hands. If Jon Jones somehow just knocks him out. Because Jones comes out every time somebody talks about, oh, this is that guy's strength against him. That's how he usually fights. People said in the Glover fight, oh, yeah, Glover's going to beat him up in the clinch. Glover's going to push him against the fence and just beat him up in the clinch. What did Jon Jones come out? He immediately came out, clinched him up, and beat Glover up in the clinch. You look at the Chael Sonnen fight. People say, oh, yeah, Chael's going to come out. Not a lot of people were saying this. But people were saying Chael's going to come out, try to take him down, beat him up on the ground. Jon Jones came out, immediately initiated the wrestling, took him down, and beat the brakes off of Chael Sonnen. Beat the piss out of Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen didn't even belong in there. It was a waste of a title fight because Chael was a loud mouth and a lot of fans got behind it. What's another example? There's other ones. DC. DC's going to out-wrestle him. He went out there and took DC down multiple times. Just as a matter of fact. It's one of those things where I doubted him so many times, I can't doubt him. I think he comes out. I think he's super well-rounded. I think he's more motivated than ever. I think he'll be in the best shape of his life. I think Nganu is getting up there in age. I think Nganu is going to be slower than Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones finds a way to get it done. I think he comes out there. He picks him apart from the outside. And Nganu, once he doesn't get that KO early, he's a lot less scary. And Jones's wrestling, I think, will translate to heavyweight. And I believe unless Ngannou takes his head off early in the fight, I think Jones will pick him apart at range, light him up on the feet, stuff the takedowns. Maybe even, you know what? My early prediction for Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou is going to be Jon Jones via third round submission. Mark that down. If it ever happens, we'll see if that actually happens. That would be my pick. So I hope I broke that down enough for you, my friend. What's going on, everybody? How you guys feeling about the 1 p.m. start time for tomorrow's fights? I didn't even know that, to be honest. I'm behind. I'm behind right now. I thought it was a little bit earlier, but I didn't know it was 1 p.m. start time. Let's check it out real quick. Oh, my goodness. I clicked on a damn ad on Tapology again. The page just shifts ever so slightly, and it makes you click on an ad by mistake. Okay, let's see. Yeah, yep, you're right. 1 p.m. Eastern. Ugh. 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 This is, I mean, I'm not excited for this card at all. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm a little bit down. UFC Vegas 56 is terrible. Is atrocious. Is positively atrocious. Is anybody super pumped for tomorrow's card? I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of people, and I used to see this a lot when I used to try to look for YouTube channels to watch about MMA. There's a lot of people that would fake enthusiasm for fight cards that aren't good. You ain't going to get that from me. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to lie to you guys. What you hear on this channel, regardless of what happens to this channel, how much it grows, whatever may happen to this channel in the future, I will never come on here and tell you guys something that I do not 100% believe. Never, ever, ever. And this card is terrible tomorrow. It might turn out to be a lot of fun. I'm going to watch it anyway. You know, people say, oh, look, you were saying how terrible that card was, and it was so much fun, blah, 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 blah. That's not the point. That doesn't change the fact that that the anticipation for me is not there. You know, so they have to do Masvidal-McGregor fight. It's either going to be Mac-Nate, or if Mac wants it, or either Mac-Chandler. That's what I think. I want the McGregor-Masvidal fight. That's the biggest fight the UFC can make right now, outside of Jones and Nganu. And I probably think Conor Masvidal would be bigger. Do you think Joanna will show some ring rust? Yeah, probably. I mean, she's been out since almost as much time as Jon Jones. 1 month afterwards, a couple weeks afterwards. What would your ideal UFC 278 fight card look like? 278, that is September. Ideal card. Well, Luke Rockhold versus Paulo Costa is already on there. Main event, I guess Jones-Stipe. That's already kind of been rumored. What else do you want? I'm terrible at building these cards. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm terrible. Give me Merab versus Corey Sandhagen. What else? I can't, for some reason, I'm having a mental block right now. Let me take a look at some list of fighters. So main event, Jones-Stipe, interim heavyweight title, unfortunately. Then give me or co-main event would be, it's not going to be a flyweight belt because they're already fighting for the interim. Give me co-main event, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier. Featured fight on the card, Merab versus Corey Sandhagen. Then let's drop it down a little bit. We can't have all great fights. Throw me a Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. I know he's fighting Neil Magny this month, but he could return by September. Throw me Shavkat Rakhmonov versus like a Sean Brady or a Vicente Luque. I know Vicente Luque has a fight, but you get my point. And then throw me Chris Weidman's return on there as well. There you go. Last time Jones fought was on the same card as Bullet versus Chukagian. Reyes won for sure, okay? Jones rose to the occasion every time besides his last 2 fights. He edged out Santos and lost, but got a gift against Reyes. Jones' most underrated attribute is his chin. Yeah, well, the thing is, what I mean by rising to the occasion is Nobody thought Reyes or Santos had a chance to beat him. So my guess is he didn't take it as seriously. Teixeira versus Prohaska. Who do you got? I've flipped back and forth on this. So my official prediction will be out next week. Probably Monday or Tuesday of next week. Right now, I'm leaning Prohaska, but I could flip back to Glover. February 2020, last time Jones fought before COVID. By the time they make Stipe fight, will be at least 2.5 years. Yep. You were right. You were right, my friend. Now, I'm losing. I'm falling behind in the chat. Francis wrestling is so overrated. Cyril Gane just doesn't know how to wrestle, so he got ragdolled. Jones wrestling and grappling. My leg itches. Hold on, guys. Jones wrestling is grappling is far superior than those two. I agree. The last time we saw the real Jon Jones was Gus 2, okay? Who do you think gets the 135 title shot? Okay, that would be the co-main event. Aljamain Sterling versus TJ. Last 3 fights didn't do well against Smith. Won, but didn't perform great. Santos, he edged it kinda, and Reyes lost, but got it. Aljo admitted that Aldo would be his toughest matchup. I think he's saying that because he doesn't believe that. I truly believe that. I think he's saying that because he thinks Aldo's his easiest matchup. I'm not saying Aldo's his easiest matchup. Aldo's not, probably not. But if I had to pick TJ, Jan, or Aldo, and Aldo's probably my favorite fighter, it might very well be his easiest matchup. I think Sterling is trying to say that because that's the fight he wants. Now, me personally, I don't mind him saying that because I would love Aldo to get a title shot. What's your favorite music artist? I really don't have one. I'm not a big music guy. I just listen to whatever. What is the hardest thing about being an MMA fan for you? It's just so much, man. It's just so much. So much to watch. A lot to watch. But I mean, I really love fights, so I don't know. The hardest part, big fights falling out. That is the hardest part about being an MMA fan. I mean, I'll never forget September of 2014. We were supposed to get Jones Gus 2. Gustafson fell out, and they subbed in DC. DC and Jones had that brawl. I was hyped for Jones DC. Now, because we lost the Gus fight, and DC fell out. Or no, did Jones fall out? Or no, DC fell out. And they rescheduled Jones versus DC for like 4 or 5 months later. I remember I was heartbroken. Bones by 3rd round sub is a great prediction. Thank you, thank you. Happy to finally catch a live. I'm happy to have you here, Roman. And thank you for being a member, man. I appreciate you. I'm pumped for tomorrow. I'm excited to have fights back, but I'm not like super pumped for this card by any means. But I'm glad you are, man. The anticipation is the... For me, the anticipation is the best part. And even if the fights are good tomorrow, it's like not a lot for me to anticipate. I hope that makes sense. Tomorrow's card is one of the worst ever, probably. I don't know about that, but it's not great. Watch out for tomorrow on the card. He's a really good prospect. Okay, let me take a look. See if this is a real name or not. Oh, I see it. Jesus. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Against Andreas Michailidis. Okay, I will keep an eye out. I have not seen Renat fight before, I don't believe. Apparently he's a massive favorite. I feel like putting trash main events on trash cards is just bad decision making. Yeah. Do you think Strickland can out-grapple Alex Pereira? It's possible. It's possible. We haven't seen a lot of Strickland's grappling at all. So we might see. I'm going to say it's possible, but I think he's going to get clipped before he has a chance. What do you think about Adesanya's coach saying Pereira doesn't deserve a title shot if he beats Strickland? I think it's funny, dude, because he's been begging to fight Cannonier forever because Cannonier's his easiest matchup. Anyone else getting weird audio glitches? Let me know. I hope not. I hope there's no issue. Let me make sure we have the right thing. Audio. Yeah, everything seems to be working on this end. I hope it's just you. That's annoying, though. What's your opinion on Chase Hooper? I don't know, man. He's still too young. I really don't have too much of an opinion. He's kind of fun to watch. Why don't people talk about how Valentina is the first fighter with a realistic chance to become a simultaneously 3-division champ? I guess she doesn't promote herself enough would be my thoughts. She doesn't talk enough. She doesn't put it out there. so no one really thinks about it. That would be probably it, but she could very well be. Sandhagen versus Cruz and Merab versus Aldo prediction. I'll take Sandhagen over Cruz just because I think Cruz is getting old. Merab versus Aldo. I'll take Aldo in the 3-round and Merab in a 5-round. Is Oliveira versus Makhachev set? No, but I wish it was. Sup, Joey? Who do you think Sean should fight if he beats Pedro? That is a great question. That is a great question, my friend. If he beats Pedro, I would like to see him fight. I don't know. Because there's a lot of fights yet to be made. I would like to see him fight somebody in that top 7. So depending on who's available, I would like to see him fight Sandhagen, Marlon Vera rematch, or Merab. Somewhere there. Something along those lines. But, we have to see who wins and loses. Whoever has like a big win in the meantime, if Song Yadong gets a fight in the meantime, if Song Yadong beats someone in the meantime, that's the fight that I would like to see. O'Malley versus Song. Of course, now my nose is itching again. Bullet will be the one to beat Jones' title defense record. Double champ coming up soon, too. And triple champ, I doubt it. Don't think she's interested in going to strawweight. Yeah, it'd be tough for her. Also, do you have any hope for Chimaev versus Colby? I'm praying for it, man. I hope so. Yuri has trained with Henry. Yeah. So we know Yuri's probably an Olympic wrestler now. He trained with Henry. But Aldo's better on the feet, and Aldo has great takedown defense and great on the ground. Seems pretty tough for matchup. Yeah, they're all tough matchups. I favor everyone to beat Aljamain Sterling in the top 3. I favor TJ to beat him. I favor Aldo to beat him, and I favor Jan to beat him. I don't know how Jan slipped my mind there, but yeah, I think Aljo's counting on Aldo fading in the later rounds. I actually believe Sterling because he did say he wants the easiest fight to keep his title. What do you mean by that? Another bum card this weekend, not going to lie. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great by any means. Haven't gotten around to see if you have made the prediction yet, but who do you got? I do have a prediction video. Nobody watched it. I am going Volkov by decision. I don't think it's going to be a particularly amazing fight. How's it going, man? Do you think TJ and Jose Aldo should fight each other for #1 contender? That's not going to happen. Either TJ or Aldo's getting the next shot if they're ready. Ian Gary versus Gabe Green got announced. Tough fight for Ian. Very, very true. It's a decent step up. I don't know who I'm picking yet. I got to look more into that. Glover versus Yuri could be as explosive as Justin versus Charles. It could very well be. Joey, I'm here. God bless, brother. Thank you, Sinister. Appreciate you. The audio is fine now, by the way. Probably just something on my side. I hope it was, man. I hope I didn't have any issues because ever since I hardwired my laptop, it hasn't been bad. Rank the fights: Usman, Khamzat, Alex P, Izzy, Charles Islam. Big Rocker Johnson, I have a video where I literally just did that, but I will do it for you again. But there's a video where I did top 5 fights. This is my last video on the channel. Top 5 fights the UFC must make. And it's going to be Izzy, Khamzat, Charles. There you go. I spoiled part of the video for you, but I just made that video on Wednesday. I think it was Bizbang who said Strickland has really good BJJ. May very well be. Who's your GOAT at lightweight? I love Habib, but BJ Penn was an absolute animal. I say Habib. Charles is closing in on it, though. But I wasn't around for the full BJ Penn era. Joey, what's your prediction on the next Lawler fight? I don't remember the name. Brian Barberina. I'm going Robbie Lawler. I think Robbie Lawler will beat Brian Barberina unless Robbie Lawler's completely fell off a cliff. Joey, do you think James Vick is the GOAT? Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he's an amazing... he was going to beat the brakes off of Gaethje before Gaethje caught him. I'm being sarcastic. Did you listen to Aljo on the Joe Rogan Experience? No, I did not. Name I cannot pronounce versus Michailidis are career middleweights fighting at 170 tomorrow. And Dennis versus Stolze at 55 in their last fight at 170. Some fighters cut too much weight. That can be detrimental in my opinion. For sure, there's definitely a lot of guys out there who cut far too much weight. And it ends up being diminishing returns. Just think out of all Yuri's fights, he only went to decision one time. I did not realize that. I know he's an animal, but I did not know out of all his fights, he's only been to decision one time. That is insane. Yuri, I mean, what he did to Volkan Ozdemir. There's a meme that they always say, oh, the toys when Andy comes in. And what he did to Volkan Ozdemir was the definition of the toys when Andy walks in. I think we said that on a recent stream as well. I mean, he shut Volkan Ozdemir's lights out. Just slumped, limp on the floor. I remember that was on the prelims. Yuri was on the prelims of UFC 251. Wild, wild, wild. I can't even remember who the main was this tomorrow. Rozenstruik versus Volkov. To be honest, I think Colby destroys Khamzat if they fight. I disagree. I would favor Khamzat, but it would be a very competitive fight. What do you think of Rose Namajunas versus Carlos Esparza 2? Worst fight in UFC history, period. It was garbage. Garbage. I hope Biggie Boy gets a KO early, because if not, we could see a frustrating main event where Biggie Boy does. What I said in my prediction video, Rozenstruik has a consistent history of lack of urgency. Lack of urgency. Is Khamzat has a better chance against Izzy or Usman in your opinion? I think he has a way better chance against Usman. McGregor should fight Lawler next. No way he can compete against a top 10 lightweight after break. Lawler, though, I don't know if Lawler's a good matchup for him either. I think McGregor should fight Nate. That's his most winnable fight. Nate or Tony Ferguson. Neither one of those are particularly easy as well. Jordan Levitt is actually kind of growing on me, guys, a character. I actually watched part of his interview on the MMA Hour, and he seems like a smart guy, too. A lot of people are making fun of him because of the way he acts and stuff. But me personally, so you guys know I don't like, all this fake talking trash and shit that doesn't even matter. But I don't mind a guy that has a personality that is genuine a personality. It's not like he's forcing it. And not that I'm like super excited to see Jordan Levitt fight, but it's a nice change of pace to just hear someone who's a little bit different, you know what I mean? Talks a little bit different, acts a little bit different. It's a different change of pace. He did the same. The Reyes. Yeah, I it was one of my first live streams on the channel. Spinning back elbow KO. Brutality. Joe, what would your reaction if Yuri shitted himself while getting submitted by Glover? My reaction would be, oh my goodness. What kind of question is that? I'd be like, oh my God, can you believe he shit himself? He shit himself in the cage while being submitted by Glover. I would hope he didn't tap and he fought his way out of the submission even though he shit himself. And then he's just trucking around. His shorts are full. His shorts are full and he's just hands down low. He's bobbing and weaving. He's got the ponytail hanging on the back of his head. His pants are full of shit. And he just, boom, clips Glover. Glover starts looking for a takedown because he's rocked. And then Yuri just hits him with a spinning back fist and sleeps him. Just pants full of shit. And then he just got his hand raised, and Dana's got to wrap the belt around his waist, and he smells shit the whole time. Is that a good enough answer for you? Volkanovski versus Holloway. Who wins? I say Volkanovski. Sorry, I gave you a thumbs down by accident. Fix it now. I hope it didn't impact the YouTube recommendations. I think it'll be all right, man. I appreciate you, Philosophy. Appreciate you. Is Tatiana Suarez Valentina's biggest threat? No, she's always injured. So no. Lawler's 40. I think it's more winnable than Ferguson or Nate. Maybe. I don't know, though. The size. I know McGregor's getting bigger and everything, whatnot. I don't like McGregor's chances against a lot of guys. I remember when he was calling out Lawler when Lawler was champion. And he was like, if I rock Conor, I'm not taking his neck. I'm taking his soul. If you haven't seen that clip, you got to go find that clip. Even though it have an entertaining build-up, wouldn't be crazy about Colby versus Poirier because that nightmare matchup for Poirier. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at all. It's not going to be competitive. I don't care about a fight build-up that means nothing. I think Conor's nightmare matchup is Justin's leg kicks. Yeah, I would love to see Gaethje versus Conor. That's not talked about enough. That's if she ever fights again. LOL. I don't know what that's about. Hello, Joe. What do you think about the UFC firing Nate Diaz and Justin Gaethje? I don't believe they have. Do you think Pereira needs to finish a fight? Needs a finish to fight Izzy, assuming Adesanya retains, which is not a foregone conclusion? No. Nope. I mean, Cannonier got a title shot with a win over Derek Brunson. It was a finish. I think if Pereira just looks good, he'll get the next title shot. There's really nobody else right now to get another title shot. Unless they give Whitaker a third shot, which I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that. But if he gets a big KO, like imagine he gets a flying knee KO in the first round against Sean Strickland and calls out Izzy on the mic, foregone conclusion. I think Yuri knocks out Glover with a knee, a brutal one. I see him reigning king while until he gets caught slipping because of his fight style. He likes to have fun and trains in the woods. Okay, fair enough. What do you think about Aljo's diss on TJ? I didn't see it, but anybody that's shitting on TJ has got a thumbs up from me. Rank the pay-per-view cards this year. Rank the pay-per-view cards this year. What do you mean? Rank them for like most fun to least fun? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Let me take a look. So UFC 270 and 271. 271 wasn't awful, wasn't great. Or 270 I'm looking at. 271 wasn't that bad either, even though he made it out to be terrible. Okay, I'm just going to find the best one first. And then I'm going to look through the rest of them. I think 272 was the worst, honestly. Let's see. 273. Okay, 273 or 274. So 273 or 274 were the greatest, one of the best. I'm going to go 273 as number 1. I'm going to go 274 as number 2 because the Chandler KO, I mean, that Ferguson fight was amazing. The main event was amazing. The rest of it was ugh. So we got 273 as number 1. Even though none of these fights were particularly great. But you had a high-level fight between that Gilbert Burns Khamzat Chimaev fight was amazing. Then you had a high-level fight between Sterling and Jan. Then you had Volkanovski putting on a masterclass. So I'll go 273, 274, let's see, what's next? 270, because Michel Pereira versus Andre Filho was good. Cody Stamann versus Sednar Magomedov was good. Michael Morales versus Trevin Giles was good. Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane was decent. Moreno versus Figgy was good. So 270, then 271, then 272 was the most garbage one. 272 was garbage. I mean, we had Rafael Sunsao versus Renato Moicano on short notice. Come on now. Absolute garbage. Okay, let me X out of that. So now I gave you all that. I gave you the rankings. I hope that was good enough for you. Guys, do me a favor. If you have not already, do me a favor. Run up the likes on the stream. That's how we get a bunch of people in here. Also, if you want to support the channel, get a bunch of extra benefits, including the members-only Discord, where we talk about all the latest MMA news every single day. It's $3 a month. You get a bunch of emojis, MMA emojis to use in the chat and comments. You get a badge next to your name. The link is down in the description. It's $3 a month. Okay, let's continue. But don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel as well. Honestly, Colby has got to be my least favorite fighter. His antics and talk is funny, but the way he cherry picks fights and denies clearly big fights because he won't get mopped rubs me the wrong way. I don't even think he's funny, to be honest. I don't find him funny at all. I mean, he's a high-level fighter, and I enjoy watching him fight. I mean, the Usman fights were really solid, especially the first one. But for me, I don't find him funny, and people don't even talk about it. People shit on Leon all the time. Colby has turned down so many fights. So many fights. If Rockhold beats Costa, what are his chances against Izzy? I think he has decent chances. I just don't trust the chin. And I don't know where his skills are at. How much have they fallen off? Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Rockhold Izzy. I have a video on that, Derek. To me, Gane versus Jones is an intriguing fight that probably won't sell. What if Jon Jones can't take him down and is stuck with Gane on the feet? Any thoughts? Jon Jones will be able to take Cyril Gane down. But if he's on the feet, I think he can beat him. Joey, top 3 barn burners in the last 3 years. Jeez Louise, Brian. I have no clue. off the top of my head, in no particular order, off the top of my head, Weili Zhang, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I really love Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler. And I'll go Khamzat Chimaev, Gilbert Burns. But there's probably other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But that's just top 3 right there. Boom. Who is the biggest threat to Izzy besides Uriah Hall? Stop it. I kind of hope Cejudo comes back and gets a dominant win and fights Volk. I don't want to see him fight Volk. He's not beating Volk. Who would you have on Adesanya Pereira if it happens? I have to see how Pereira looks like against Strickland, but right now I'd probably go Adesanya. Wait, never mind. He's returning to bantamweight. Yeah, he is returning to bantamweight. If Cejudo becomes champ again at bantamweight and beats Volk to become champ at featherweight, how much does that elevate in your all-time rankings? It would be elevated pretty high, but he's not beating Volk. I'm telling you right now. Professional opinion, is Darren Till better or worse than Khamzat? Definitely worse. I think Khamzat is more dedicated. I think Khamzat has way better grappling. I think Khamzat has better cardio. I think Khamzat comes in better shape to the fights. I think Khamzat has a better chin. I think Darren Till, I mean, he doesn't even have one solid win. He does not have one good win. And the one good win that people talk about and point out, say Wonder Boy, he lost that fight. Most people agree that he lost the fight. Do you think Jack Della Maddalena is a future contender in the welterweight division? It's too early to tell, but maybe. If Jones versus Stipe gets scheduled and Stipe pulls out, who at heavyweight would you like to see stepping against Jones? It's not going to happen. Jones doesn't like taking short notice fights, especially in his heavyweight debut. If Stipe pulls out like really close to the fight, Jones ain't taking a replacement opponent. I'm telling you right now, it's not happening unless they pay him big bucks. Joey, have you seen the manliest fight ever? Yoshiro Takayama versus Don Fry. Yes, I have seen that. Assuming Pimlet beats Levitt impressively, do you believe he should fight Alexander Hernandez? I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I doubt it happens because Alexander Hernandez probably beats Pimlet. That's why it has not. That's why that fight probably won't be booked. The UFC has given Patty the Sean O'Malley treatment. I actually think Gaethje could get dropped by McGregor. He's very hittable. If the fight goes past the midway round 2, I'd favor Justin. I mean, definitely could get dropped by McGregor, for sure. But I think the leg kicks would add up. Gaethje might break that leg off again. Just snap that leg off with them nasty leg kicks. I'd love to see that fight. Prime Rockhold versus Izzy. Rockhold that beat Weidman 50-50. Still favor Izzy. I'd favor Rockhold. Prime Rockhold, I favor Rockhold. Rockhold's top game in his prime, I was confident that he was going to beat Chris Weidman. I was confident. And he did. He went out there. They made some lame excuse like, oh, Weidman threw a spinning heel kick and that's why he lost. Rockhold was better everywhere. What are Ankalaev's chances of becoming champion? I'll say 60%. Have you ever watched Dan Severn? Yes. I didn't know he was paralyzed. If Khamzat is Khamzat the one to dethrone Usman? I believe yes. I think Khamzat Chimaev is the one to dethrone Usman if Leon Edwards doesn't get to him first. I mean, Khamzat, I've said this a million times. People act like, oh, because the fight against Glover was competitive, he couldn't beat Usman. Anybody that can keep the fight standing against Usman with little fear of the takedown has a significantly decent chance to beat Usman. That's why Colby Covington had a good chance to beat Usman. Because not only could he keep it standing, the whole time it was standing, he wasn't worried about the takedowns. You know, it's different. Jorge Masvidal was worried about the takedowns the whole time. If Jorge had good enough grappling where he wasn't worried about the takedowns of Colby, where he wasn't worried about the takedowns of Usman, he would beat them both. I know that sounds crazy, but it's that wrestling aspect, and because once they get a hold of you, you know, they take you down. Khamzat's not going to be worried about Usman's grappling. So Khamzat's going to come forward slinging big shots, and I think Khamzat striking might be just a hair better than Usman's. It's hard to tell just yet, but I think Khamzat Chimaev is the one to dethrone Kamaru Usman. I hope we get to see that fight this year. I can't wait to see Alex versus Max because Izzy will be in training camp with Eugene and Alex. I see a lot over Max. Izzy is a striking genius. Okay. Islam versus Burns. Who do you have, and what about Khabib versus Burns? I'd probably take Burns against both of them. I think he outstrikes both of them, and I think he's not worried about the takedown. So I take Burns. I think when Oliveira gets dropped against Chandler and Dustin, this makes them may have a chance against him in the rematch. But for Khabib, he made it clear that no one can come close to beat him. Okay. I don't know about that. He hasn't fought everyone. Bro, he took the words right out of my mouth. I don't know what you're referring to, but okay. What happened? I must have missed this. What's the fight you most want to see? It could be an active fighter against a retired. I want to see Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou. How many guys does he still have to beat to become the GOAT at middleweight? Probably quite a few. I'd say like 4 or 5 more title defenses at least. I believe Paddy is super overrated. I don't think anyone thinks he's good. So I don't consider him overrated. Nobody thinks he's good, but maybe I'm just not paying attention close enough. At least in my community, nobody thinks he's good. So in my view of, the entire MMA community we built on here, everyone that comes to live streams, the comments on the videos, I haven't seen anyone talking about Paddy's elite or anything like that. So that's why I don't think he's overrated. Khamzat versus Colby. Will it go to the ground or stand-up war? I think Khamzat beats him on the feet. That's what I think happens. I think the grappling between Colby and Khamzat cancels each other out. And I think that Khamzat beats him up on the feet. I didn't copy you, bro. Didn't see. He mentioned it. I don't know what we're talking about there. Will Strickland come out as himself, or who I become a fan of, or will the win bonus turn him into the most B-level entertainment fighter again? This match is worth more than Jack's. I don't know what you're saying there. I don't know what you're saying. Is Khamzat the future pound for pound? No. I want Levitt to win. It'd be hilarious if he wins and starts twerking in the UK arena. You know what I mean? If Usman beats Leon, Khamzat, and another guy like Bilal or Brady and retires, where would you rank him all time? 1 loss before UFC, 0 losses in the UFC. If he beats Leon, Khamzat, and another guy like Bilal or Brady, he's right up there with GSP then at that point, I believe. I would have to take a closer look, but one of the best of all times for sure. Who is the UFC's favorite up-and-coming fighter, Sean O'Malley or Paddy Pimblett? I'll say Khamzat. I think Khamzat's their favorite. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Paddy, just because they want that UK fan base. Kind of feels like Stephen Thompson is going to be more of a stepping stone. Yeah, he's definitely a stepping stone. Khabib will look like a clown if Islam loses to Olives. If jiu-jitsu was easy, it'd be called Sambo. Yeah, for sure. Who would win, Bobby Green versus Paddy the Baddy? Bobby Green? I would think Bobby Green would take that, but they would never make that fight. Would you be intrigued by a Jon Jones Jiří Procházka fight? Absolutely, Derek. I would kill for that fight right now. It'd be so much fun. But Jon Jones would beat Jiří Procházka. I hate to say it, he would. He would drag him to the ground. He would elbow his cheekbones in, bust him up, and finish Jiří Procházka on the ground. Jon Jones is just too dominant in the grappling, too lanky, able to keep the distance. So, but I would love to see it. I mean, Jiří just wading forward like an absolute madman. Jon's just teeping to the body, pumping the jab, kicking the body, kicking the legs, grabbing, clinching, and pushing him up against the cage, knee into the body, dragging him to the ground, trips, looking for submissions. Jiří Procházka, Jon Jones would be a lot of fun. Islam gets dropped, but people aren't afraid to go to the ground with him. He plans on going to the ground with him, make him tired, and sub him since Charles tapped many times before. Simple but legit. I guess so, but it's going to be, it's easier said than done for sure. Dagestani grappling versus BJJ. I mean, it all depends on the fighter. I love Paddy, but I don't see him winning against anyone in the top 15. But I, like to see him fight Hooker. That would be a good fight. He's not getting that big of a step up just yet. But as of right now, I don't see him beating anyone in the top 15 either. For sure. For sure. Alex, I see him knocking Max out. Okay. If you're right, Joey, could you imagine his first title defense will probably be Sean Brady by that stage, and Shavkat will probably be next in line. Future of 170 is ridiculous. I would love it. I would love it for sure. I mean, 170 is nasty. 170 is filthy. Filthy. Let me see something real quick. Who has the best ground game in the UFC right now? Khamzat, Oliveira, Islam, Burns, Usman, or maybe somebody else? I will say Charlie Olives. I think Charlie Olives, best ground game. He's just so good. He's got good ground and pound. He's got good transitions, good offensive jiu-jitsu, good, amazing submissions. I mean, even. So there you go. Who do you think will headline UFC 281 Abu Dhabi? I don't know. It's probably going to be Islam Oliveira. We'll see, though. Also, how do you think Khamzat matches up with Bilal, Brady, Shavkat? I think as of right now, and this is crazy. I would favor Khamzat over all of them. But with some minor improvements, I would favor Shavkat over Khamzat, which by the time he gets there, I think he will be improved. If you could go back and relive one UFC event, what would it be? Probably UFC 189 was incredible. We actually do fight rewatches on our members Discord, and very soon we're going to go back and watch like an entire main card. And I think we're going to do UFC 189. We got to schedule that soon. We got to do that soon. Who will fight first, Bones, Connor, or Henry? I'll say Bones. Just ask for lightweight, who's your GOAT at each division? GOAT at each division. Off the top of my head, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Bantamweight, Dominic Cruz. Featherweight, Jose Aldo, but Volkanovski has made his case as well. Lightweight, Habib right now, but Oliveira is about to snatch it from him. Welterweight, GSP. Middleweight, Anderson Silva. Light heavyweight, Jon Jones. Heavyweight, Stipe Miocic. Strawweight, Rose Namajunas. Flyweight, Valentina Shevchenko. Bantamweight, Amanda Nunes. Featherweight, nobody. There you go. Strickland was afraid to lose against Jack last fight. He admitted it because of the money to win. Strickland last fight was not what his last three were. Can you see that happening again because of the win bonus? I think, if he admitted it once, he's probably going to try to fight super smart in this fight too, would be my guess. Which Conor win was your favorite and have your biggest reaction? It wasn't my favorite, but my biggest reaction was being absolutely distraught after he KO'd Aldo. But a favorite Conor win? Let's take a look. The Chad Mendes fight was incredible. The Chad Mendes fight was incredible. Well, what got the biggest reaction as far as a win for him from me? Oh my God, this page is so long. Most impressive win, probably Eddie Alvarez. I did not expect him to win that fight, and he did. From the video of Habib and Luke grappling, do you think Habib could take him down and hold down Usman? No. Stephen Thompson versus Michelle Pajeda prediction. I'll go Wonderboy Thompson. I don't think Pajeda is all that great. I don't think he's all that great. My man, Brian Bell, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate the super chat. Every dollar goes into upgrading the channel, man. Every dollar goes into upgrading the channel. I appreciate your dollar donation. Every donation matters, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's more effective, high kicks or double legs? Double legs. Sorry, I meant Charles gets dropped, and this is what Islam plans to do to Charles. Okay? If Usman fights Colby for a third time, who will win? I don't know. By laws of averages, Colby's bound to get a win, so I'll say Colby. I dream about Yuri versus Jones, but sadly Jones won't let it be fun. Yuri will get mauled on the ground. I agree. Do you think Islam can submit Oliveira, as Oliveira has 3 losses by submission, and Habib said Islam submits ADCC champions? I think it's very possible. I wouldn't say it's a likely outcome, but I think it's possible. We are dealing with Super Saiyan Charles Oliveira. He is choking out Islam. That's my prediction, probably. I'm most likely going Oliveira by guillotine. Guys, keep filling the chat with questions. Keep filling the chat with questions. Appreciate you guys. Now I lost my spot. Did Volk actually beat Holloway? What is your take on both fights? First fight was clear as day. Volkanovski won that fight. Second fight was very close. I gave Volk the edge, but it could have went either way. Olive's lost by submission when he was like 22, 23. When Islam was 23, he wasn't fighting world champions. Exactly. People crap on Charles. The dude was in the UFC since he was like 20, 21. It's crazy. It's crazy. I agree with you, Savage Mr. Fox. Thank you for pointing that out. Astute observation. Who would you match Patty up with if he beats Levitt? I like the idea of Michael Johnson. I think they're going to give him another fight on the same level as like Jordan Levitt. Let me take a look. Who do I think the UFC is going to match him up with, or who would I match him up with? I'll have to give you an answer for both because I don't know particularly what you're asking there. Which one? So who would I match him up with? Let's take a look. I would like to see him, if he gets a win over Jordan Levitt, give him Terrence McKinney. They're never going to do that, but that fight would be very interesting to me, as well as Claudio Puelles. Now, who the UFC is going to match him up with? They'll match him up with someone like Leonardo Santos, maybe, or John McDessie, or Matt Favola, even. Something like that would be my guess is who they're going to match him up with. How might you respond to the moral criticism that MMA is merely wanton violence and or that the love for the sport belies an unmastered sadism in the unconscious psyche of the individual fans? That is a very crazy question, but I think those people don't know what they're talking about. There are some people, don't get me wrong, there are some people that watch the sport just to watch people get beat up. For me, I just like to see the competitiveness of it, you know? That's what I like to see. For me, you know, I'd rather see a highly competitive fight than a one-sided beatdown. So it's no different than all these other sports. A lot of these other sports. I mean, football, there's guys getting their brains bashed in every day, getting lit up on the field, blah, 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 this and that. So those people are just uncultured. I honestly don't think Sean Brady would be getting mentioned as much as he has been lately. I think he needs one more big win to be in the mix. Yeah, but there's no fight for him. There's no fight for him. Sean Brady versus Damian Maia prediction. I'd go Sean Brady. But that'd be a very interesting fight. Thank you again for the donation, Bryant. Oliveira versus Burns. That'd be an interesting fight. I'd probably go Burns, to be honest. The size advantage. He's not going to be worried about the jiu-jitsu. He would clip him and probably go down. Follow him to the ground. Do you believe in the conspiracy that Conor's beef against Khabib was rigged? Like the way cameras were arranged in that Conor attacking the bus video? No, I do not believe that. I think Conor's just a madman who does a lot of coke and drinks a lot of alcohol and makes poor decisions and beats up old men in bars. And, he only has one win in 6 years. And people still ride this man like he's the greatest of all time. I give Game a big chance versus Jones. Gain a big chance against Jones, who is next for Mayra Bueno Silva. Do you like her move to 135? I'm not sure who's next for her. But honestly, if she could stay at 125, probably more wide open than 135. You play UFC 4? No, I do not. Oliveira versus Brian Ortega. Who wins? Oliveira beats his ass on the feet, in my opinion. That would be my opinion. Conor's beef with Khabib started because Khabib and his gang swarmed Artem Lobov in a hotel and assaulted. They didn't assault him. It's all on video, Savage Mr. Fox. He just touched his shoulder. That was it. It was blown up. It was blown up. But that is why it started. MMA fans to make a conspiracy out of everything. I think it says something about the hearts and minds of a large swath of the fan base. Fair enough. Did you hear about Muhammad Ali's grandson making his MMA debut? No, I did not. I did not hear about this. But that's cool, I guess. He's got big shoes to fill, huh? McGregor is a cautionary tale. You either die as a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Yeah, and I think you expedite the process when you do nothing but snort coke and drink alcohol. What do you think about Bo Nichols? I think his name is saying Khabib wouldn't last 30 seconds with him in wrestling or 1 minute max. I don't really have too many thoughts on him. I think he's got an interesting name. That's about it. But we shall see. We shall see. Small contribution. Love the interaction. Keep it up. You're going to be more of a force than a force to be reckoned with. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, man. I try, the channel has, the live streams have gotten more crazy over time, especially like the post-fight live streams. I try to answer most questions. Sometimes I miss some. I appreciate your donation. Everything is right now. Everything is going into making the channel better. That's what I want to do. I know if I continue to make the channel better, that the money will come, and I'll be able to make some decent money off the channel. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. Every dime goes right back into the channel. Do you think that Tony Ferguson has ever had the chance to challenge for a title or fight at the elite of the division again? Fight at the elite of the division, probably. Challenge for a title, absolutely not. Do you think Miocic versus Jones really happens? It's such a legacy fight. I'm going to say yes. Who is the fighter that never reached his true potential but looked like a mega prospect? Probably Kevin Lee, honestly. Kevin Lee would be my guess. There's other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head. I can't lie. The only fight I'm looking forward to today is Dan Ige versus Mavsar. That's the best fight on the card. Have a breakdown and prediction of that fight on the channel, my friend. What is next for Gregory Gillespie? I think he either fights Dariush or the loser of Fiziev versus Dos Anjos. I would love to see him against Dos Anjos. People forget Kevin Lee had 7 minutes of control time on Charles. I really believe Charles gets finished within 2 rounds. Islam's top control and Dagestani handcuff will neutralize his BJJ. It's very possible. It's very, very possible. Who was the person who got you into MMA? Mine was Nate Diaz. Probably, I attribute it to Anderson Silva. I started casually watching MMA, all the big events, and when I saw Anderson Silva after 5 rounds of just getting the shit kicked out of him by Chael Sonnen, nasty ground and pound, boom, 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 4.5 rounds in, Chael Sonnen is about to steal the middleweight title, and Anderson Silva locks up a triangle choke and submits Chael Sonnen. I was hooked from then on out. So Anderson Silva, my first favorite fighter. I will bet the farm on Oliveira to beat Islam, especially if Khabib will come out of retirement to fight Oliveira if Islam loses. My opinion, top 3 pay-per-view buys if Khabib were to fight Oliveira. I'd love that fight. That is a fight I dreamed about before Khabib even retired. I would love that. Guys, there is almost 50 people in this stream right now, and we have 22 likes on the stream. I need you guys to take a second. It's free. It's 100% free. It takes 1 second. And like this stream. Run up the likes on the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. And I would really, really appreciate it. We're almost an hour in right now. We're an hour in right now. And that's how YouTube recommends it based on how many people are watching, for how long, how many likes it has, stuff like that. If Patty wins his next fight, could they possibly do him versus Thiago Moises? Highly doubtful. MMA is a sport first and foremost. Agree. Were you on the Sage North? No, I was not. I knew Sage Northcutt wasn't shit. Was not on the hype train at all. Have you heard the theory that Jon Jones is actually serving a USADA suspension right now? I guess they passed some rule about not having it publicity. All suspensions in 2020. That's not true. They don't have it come out until the case is finalized. There's no way it wouldn't be finalized by now. So it would be finalized. They would have announced the adjudication of it by now. So I don't buy that. But I have heard of it. Are people predicting that Oliveira will submit Islam because he is so likable? Because I can't see it happening. Oliveira's best chance is on the feet. I really believe people want Oliveira to win. No. I think Oliveira could snatch up a guillotine on the entry. Not having to disclose. They don't have to disclose until they've gone through adjudication or whatever you want to call it. Once the fighter appeals and it's finalized, which can take a few months, but not 3 years. Okay, we would have known by now. Watch the Charles Oliveira A Cruel Divide documentary. Makes me like Charles Oliveira even more. Lucky to have him as a champion. He is very humble and hugged Justin right before he ended up sleeping. There you go. Yeah, I like Charles Oliveira as well. I'm on the Charles Oliveira train. Do you think Ricky Simon will become champion for bantamweight someday? No, it's just too stacked. I watched Cannonier versus Gastelum earlier. KG can be competitive at the top. He fought nothing but monsters, and I actually had him winning that fight. White Magic, man. We are exactly on the same page. Go watch my post-fight for that if you can find it on the channel. I thought Gastelum won that fight, and I've been saying for a while, Kevin Gastelum takes nothing but killers within the division, and he's still a top 5 fighter that's some reason sitting out the top 10. I'm with you. Yo, Joey, are you going to do a live stream for 275? Probably not. There's a chance. But probably not. I eventually need to buy a TV for this room. I just recently got a monitor because I'm tired of looking at my laptop. I need an extra screen. I just bought a monitor, but eventually I want to mount a TV on the wall directly behind the camera, and then I'll start streaming some of the pay-per-views. Not every pay-per-view, but I'll start streaming some of them. So as I make more money on the channel, get more views, get more donations, I'm going to buy a nice TV, mount it on the wall behind the camera, and I will start streaming a good percentage of the pay-per-views. You think Khabib or Islam can out-wrestle or beat Bo Nickel? I don't know, man. That's a tough question. Maybe. All right, what's the discussion for tonight? Whatever you want the discussion to be, my friend. Whatever you want the discussion to be. My man Mario, thank you for the $20 donation. I appreciate you, my friend. Late to the stream. Better late than never. I appreciate the donation, man. It means a lot. Thank you for supporting the channel. You're a frequent donator, Mario, and I appreciate it, man. I really do. It means a lot that you're willing to shell out $20 to support, hopefully, your favorite MMA channel. So appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know how many times I can thank you, but appreciate it, man. $20 of your hard-earned money. Thank you, Mario. You're the man. Okay, let me go back and find my spot now that I've thanked Mario. What disappointed you more, John being pulled from UFC 200 or Woodley being KO'd by definitely Jones pulling out of UFC 200? I was heartbroken. I was absolutely heartbroken by that. I really wanted to see that fight, and it didn't happen. And it sucked badly. Did you hear that Askar lied about his MMA record? It's manipulated to make it seem like he was 25-7 when he was really 19-12. Askar, who are we talking about? I did see this somewhere, but who are we talking about specifically? Not Askar Askarov, is it? Because didn't he have one loss or something? Uberim versus TRT Vitor, different weight classes, but Uberim beats everyone. Hit the like button, guys. Let's go. Thank you, Bryant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dariush versus Gillespie actually makes sense, especially if they do Oliveira Makhachev, because I don't know who else would fight Beneil. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I've mentioned that fight before. I forgot about that. But yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea quite a bit. What if McGregor never got knocked out by Lee? What if Gregor never got knocked out by Lee? I don't know how much he would have done within the division. But that was a brutal KO. I mean, Gregor Gillespie's already getting up there in age. I think he's in his mid-30s. And the guy is just inactive. He's perpetually inactive. Considering Khabib Gaethje did 400 buys, I don't think Khabib is as popular in the U.S. as he is in the Middle East. Those numbers are bogus. We don't even know the real numbers. So who knows? Muhammad Ali's grandson is a boxer, not an MMA fighter. His name is Nico Ali Walsh. Okay. Usman versus GSP Prime. Who do you pick? GSP outstrikes him. Just jabs his face off. Do you think Nate Diaz versus Vicente is the fight to make? No. Nate Diaz versus Tony or Nate Diaz versus Connor? Thanks again, Mario, for the super chat donation. You are the man. Big ups to Mario. Yes. If Gregor Gillespie never got KO'd by Kevin Lee, do you think he'd be more active? No, he was inactive before then. He fights once a year. Who's your second favorite fighter for welterweight? Second favorite fighter? That's a weird question. My favorite fighter for welterweight, I don't know. It's probably depends, man. I really love Robbie Lawler. If I had to pick a second favorite fighter right now, it'd probably be Khamzat, to be quite honest. Probably Khamzat. What do you do as a full-time job, and is this goal to do YouTube full-time? Work in construction, and yes, I would love to do YouTube full-time. Absolutely love it. Mario the MVP. I just need one final storybook ending McGregor run, and I'll see my way out. Stop it. It's never going to happen, Peter Fruit Loops. UFC 276 early prelim is better than most Apex main cards for this year. For real. UFC saved all the bangers for the Izzy card and depleted a lot of fight nights. It's not, I've been seeing a lot of shit flying around. We talked about this recently on the stream, that they're stacking an Izzy card because this or that. And I'm not saying that you're saying this, White Magic. They always stack International Fight Week card, but yes, it is amazing. And yes, some of these fight night cards have been trash. And I wish they were better. So we agree. It's not the fact that everyone likes Charles and wants him to win. I think it's more fact people undermine his skills and think he's going to go there and lay there while Islam submits him. Yeah. There's a lot of people that discount him. Who do you think Sean Brady should fight next? I would like to see him against Luque. Luque has a fight. I don't know, man. Everyone has a fight right now. He's not fighting Jorge. Wonderboy doesn't want to fight him. Vicente has a fight with... Who does Vicente have a fight with right now? I don't remember. Vicente Luque has a fight, for sure. I'm pretty sure. Maybe Sean Brady can fight Shavkat Neil Magny winner. I don't know. Wonderboy Thompson makes sense, but it's not going to happen. Do you think prime Robbie Lawler would do well in the current 170 division? His takedown defense was very solid. Yes. Prime Robbie Lawler would do very well, but he would still have trouble with the grapplers, though. So it's hard to say. So is Colby fighting Khamzat, or do we not have any confirmation? No confirmation, just a fight we were speculating about. What's next for Cyril Gane? He has a fight with Tai Tuivasa. Charles Jourdain versus Shane Burgos prediction. I think this has fight of the year potential. I'll probably go Shane Burgos. He's more experienced. He's fought tougher competition. Has nasty power. Yeah. Mario, what's going on, man? God has to be real. There's an MMA fighter named Usman. What? I don't even know what that means, bro. That's a weird thing to say. Askar Mazarov lied about his record. He is debuting in the UFC. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. That is annoying as hell. If you had a chance to change a rule, what rule would you change? I don't know if this counts. I would make it automatic point deductions and choice of position for the effective fighter every time someone grabs the fence. So regardless of what's going on, if you grab the fence, not only do you lose a point, the fighter that did not grab the fence gets to choose where the position starts. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be like full mount, but you could decide on the ground or standing if they grab the fence. Jeff Neal. Okay, I knew he had a fight, but I couldn't remember who it was. Thank you for filling me in, my friend. Diaz versus Ferguson. Who wins? I'll go Ferguson in that one. I would love to see that fight. Can you imagine Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson? That would just be incredible. Absolutely incredible. Who has the best chance in the 155-pound division to move up to 70 and do the best? Honestly, I look through that. I don't see a lot of guys I think do well at welterweight. They're just too small. They're too small. Charles is going to get beat. Dustin's going to get beat for sure. Justin's going to get beat for sure. Dos Anjos, but we've already seen that story. So, honestly, nobody. Honestly, nobody. Jeff Neal's fighting Luque. Thank you guys for all answering me on that one. How would Renan Barão versus Dominic Cruz have gone when they were both in their prime? I think Dominic Cruz would have won. I think he would have just outstruck him, used his footwork. It's a fight that we were supposed to see for so long. But it just never, ever, ever happened. Because Dominic Cruz was perpetually injured. But it is what it is. Oh, yeah, I forgot he's fighting Jeff Neal in August. Are you watching the fight between... I don't even know how to say his name. No, I'm not. I don't watch boxing too much. What's up, MMA Joey brother? What's going on? Keep out. Why don't UFC fighters get health insurance from the UFC? Because they're independent contractors. Like it or hate it, that's the nature of the business. You know, I think Merab versus Sandhagen is the fight to make. I would love Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. That'd be a lot of fun. Isn't it crazy? Marlon Moraes is retired because he just kept getting slept over and over and over again, and he almost beat Merab. Bilal versus Sean Brady is the fight to make for both. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense too. I would have no problem with that. I would love that fight. Why don't the UFC fighters get held? I already answered this. Little Seal's laughing. Has Oliveira ever defeated a top wrestler like Islam, Beneil, or Arman? What we have seen so far is him defeating American strikers that are more famous than being the best. Lower part of 155 or better. Yeah, I mean, he's beat grapplers before. He's beat wrestlers before. Kevin Lee comes to mind. Let's see. But I know what you're saying. There's a lot of tough challenges coming up. So people act like he's fighting bums. He's not. I mean, look at his resume. His last 2 fights are better than Islam Makhachev's entire resume. Yeah, he beat Clay Guida. Clay Guida's a decent wrestler, like it or hate it. Has a win over Nick Lentz, has a win over Kevin Lee, has a win over Michael Chandler, who's a decent wrestler as well. Not that he wrestled, but you get the point. Same reason cigarette smokers don't get insurance from cigarette companies. There you go. Who do you think is the most underrated fighter in the UFC right now? Who do I think is the most underrated fighter in the UFC right now? I'll say Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm high on Umar Nurmagomedov. Very, very high. Nathan Diaz versus El Kukui Ferguson. 2 Mexican warriors. Imagine both of them going in round 4, both covered in blood. That's a dream fight. I've been talking about it for a year now. Thoughts on Aljo saying he would move up to 45 if Merab was getting a title shot? How do you think he would do? Aljo ain't having success at 45. I'm telling you that right now. But I find it interesting. I like the loyalty to his teammate. I think Chandler would be more competitive at fights at 170 potentially. I mean, Michael Chandler is super explosive, and he does have good defensive wrestling. I just think he'd be a hair undersized. I know you might not agree, but Islam is the guy from 55 who would do best at 170. He's a perfect for like 162 division. I mean, he has the best grappling in the welterweight divisions, the best wrestling, best division, division with the best wrestlers. I think Chandler could have competitive fight. Okay, I read that. UFC 274. Who took the bigger L, Tony or Rose? Rose for sure. Not only did she lose her belt, she lost a lot of fans too, I believe. What was your opinion on Brock Lesnar when he was first signed? I feel like everyone I asked said he would be terrible or dominant. I wasn't a fan when he first got signed, but I knew that the heavyweight division was garbage when I started watching. And I thought he could have success because it was garbage. I mean, he beat up an undersized Randy Couture. Not that Randy Couture was garbage, but come on now. And then when he really started to fight some decent competition, Alistair Overeem and Cain Velasquez, he got wrecked. I thought he was going to get wrecked by Shane Carwin. I was watching at that point in time. I thought that he was going to get wrecked, but Shane Carwin gassed out in the first round. So, Conor versus Nate or Chandler, I would love it. Can Leon beat Colby and Usman? Yes, but I'd probably not pick him in those fights. Real quick, guys, if there's anyone watching this stream right now and you're not subscribed to the channel, go subscribe to the channel right now. I would greatly appreciate it. And throw a question in the chat. Who's just there lurking right now, but not saying a single word? Let me know in the chat. I want to see your name pop up in the chat, even if it's just one message. Is there any fighter that you weren't a fan of but have grown to like them over the years? There definitely is, but I can't think of it. I'm looking through, the UFC rankings right now just to see if any name pops up. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Who have I not liked who has grown on me? I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm sure there is, but I can't think of any right now. There's nobody that comes to mind right off the top of my head. I'm starting to think Khabib fans are more toxic than Conor fans. Nah, it's just Khabib is more relevant right now, I think, which is crazy. How is your girlfriend doing? When are you two getting married? Doing good? I'm not sure yet. Chandler, but thanks for asking. Chandler said himself if he was 2 inches taller, he would fight welterweight. Okay. Well, he called out Conor for welterweight, so there you go. Chandler just came like an angel and blessed the lightweight division. Okay. They need to book Islam versus Beneil for the contender fight. Such an intriguing matchup. I love that matchup, but it's not going to happen because they're not going to have Oliveira sit around when you don't have a champion currently. 165 pounds, Colby versus Islam. Who wins? I'll say Colby. I think Colby stuffs the takedowns, and I think the volume would be too much. Who do you think's next for Cater? I would see Arnold Allen. He's already has a fight with Josh Emmett this month. June 18th, I believe, off the top of my head. Islam would smash Justin, Dustin, and Chandler. Chandler has the best chance. Have you guys noticed no one mentions Islam specifically the famous fighter in 55. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I actually agree with most of that assessment. How far did you see Jack Shore going really well rounded? I think he gets to the top 10. We'll see if he ever becomes a title contender or not. But I'm actually very high on Jack Shore as well. I think he's sitting at number 15. Yeah, he's number 14 right now. So Jack Shore has arguably fought better competition than Sean O'Malley. And Jack Shore's, what, 2 fights into the UFC? Timur Valiev is better than anyone that O'Malley has fought. I don't know why I said fought. It's crazy to think that Khabib Cowboy got canceled maybe 4 times back in the day. Would that fight have been Khabib just mauling Cowboy? Yes, it would have been. But yeah, I remember that. Khabib kept getting injured. Opinion on Colby Covington. He's a great fighter. I don't find him particularly interesting as far as the whole, trying to make promos constantly. I just don't find it entertaining. It's just not for me. But he's a great fighter, and I love watching him fight. He had that liver issue when Alistair beat him. Then he was out more than a year. Yeah. Dustin should call out Islam if he wanted to fight in the summer. He seems to be bluffing Colby. Call out note from his friend Masvidal. Colby can't fight. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Islam's fighting anyone but Charles Oliveira. And I wouldn't want the UFC to book it. I would just want the UFC to book Islam versus Charles Oliveira. Dustin versus Chandler, who wins? I think Dustin, because Chandler has a little bit of a cardio issue. So if Chandler can't get him out of there early, which is tough to finish Dustin early, especially by KO, and he's very defensively sound, I think Chandler's going to get finished late. I think he'll get clipped with a punch by Dustin. Dustin will just have him. Chandler will back up against the cage. Dustin will just start swarming him. 30, 40 punch combination, swarming him against the fence until the ref finally steps in. It'll look like TJ Dillashaw, Henan Barrow 2. 4th round stoppage. Who is the fighter that will take the UFC forward promotion-wise after Conor is done? Conor's been done. Conor's won 1 fight in 6 years. Who will take? I'll say Khamzat. Can't lie, man. I'm slacking on the UFC fight announcements, man. Okay, they are slacking. Would you watch Khabib and Tony coach tough? Probably. That's probably one thing that would get me back to the Ultimate Fighter. There's very little that I watch on the Ultimate Fighter, but I would consider watching that. I would most likely have to tune in for that. But it's just like the UFC isn't willing to pay these guys to be coaches. So that's why we consistently get garbage Ultimate Fighter after garbage Ultimate Fighter. I mean, I cannot believe it. No offense if this applies to you. This is absolutely not meant offensively for you. I can't believe anybody wants to watch Pena versus Nunes in the Ultimate Fighter. That is, I mean, I can't imagine a more garbage, competitive duo as far as trash talk and, being in the gyms together. And, I can't even listen to them at a press conference for 20 minutes, let alone watch an hour show a week with those two going at it. Don't get me wrong. I like the fight. I want to see the rematch. But, apologies if you're watching. I don't mean to offend you. What's next for Dustin? Right now, he kind of looks like he's in the middle of nowhere. I think there's a lot of fights that make sense for Dustin. I think Dustin versus Chandler makes a lot of sense. They've been going back and forth. What Dustin did is when Chandler immediately came into the UFC, he gave him no respect. He belittled what Chandler had done outside the UFC and basically said, if I got to fight Chandler, I'd rather go sell hot sauce. And now Chandler is in a little bit better position within the lightweight division than Dustin Poirier. And now Dustin wants that fight. And so now Chandler's like, nah, bro. You tried to big time me when I came into the UFC. Now you want me because I can give you shine. And he doesn't want that. He doesn't want to do that. And I agree with Chandler. The guy, tried to big time you when you came into the UFC, kind of shit on your accomplishments because you weren't in the UFC organization. And now all of a sudden he wants to fight you because you're in a better spot than he is for the promotion. But I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Dustin versus Gaethje makes a lot of sense. The fight of people who are not fighting for the title anytime soon and a rematch of a great fight. And I think there's real potential. We could see Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 4. As shitty as that sounds, we could see that fight. They would sell the angle. Conor broke his leg in the trilogy, even though he was getting 10-8'd up until that point. He broke his leg. Now he returns, and he looks for revenge. And I'm telling you right now, Conor could come back and get a controversial decision win over Dustin Poirier, and they would never even think about booking it again. So it's just funny. What are your dream fights for middleweight? Dream fights for middleweight. Izzy versus Alex Pereira. Izzy versus Rockhold. Izzy versus Costa 2. Izzy versus Gastelum 2. There you go. There's a bunch of good ones for you. There's a bunch of good ones for you. If you guys have not already, run up the likes on the stream. It's annoying that Chandler and Poirier are petty and refuse to fight each other. Yeah, but I get it. I understand it. If Conor actually fights Oliveira next, do you think Islam Beneil would happen in the meantime? Yes. I'm going to go to sleep now, Joey. Have a good rest of your stream. Thank you, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your night. Who's the most well-rounded fighter of all time? I don't know. I'll answer who's the most well-rounded fighter right now. It's got to be Petr Yan or Alexander Volkanovski. Both very well-rounded, in my humble opinion. I feel like Beneil is a big overachiever, similar to Bilal Muhammad. I don't hear anyone talking about him seriously in the title picture. He's an awkward matchup for most 155ers. Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. Nobody really cares about Beneil. It's actually kind of sad. GSP, I don't know what that's about. Colby Masvidal, tough would have been perfect. I agree. We would have probably gotten a brawl in the tough gym. I agree with you 100%. Didn't even watch the promos. Moreno Kai, who wins? I have Moreno. I think he's better everywhere. Can't find it annoying. Masvidal calling out Conor. Seems like he just wants a payday to pay less legal fees. I don't really think that's the case, Mario. A lot of people are just asking him about Conor. It makes a lot of sense. It's the biggest fight in the UFC. Masvidal is going to get paid in his next fight regardless. He got a big contract from the UFC before he fought Colby. So Masvidal is getting taken care of, and Masvidal is getting a big fight next anyway. I don't necessarily find it too annoying. People, there's so many people that have been ducking fights for years. And a lot of people stylistically knew that Colby Covington wasn't a great matchup for Masvidal. And he took that fight anyway. And, Masvidal's been a legend forever. He's taken every fight. I mean, not recently, it's been a little bit different. But the guy was fighting a lot of guys, a lot of legends back in the day. Wonderboy Thompson on the come up. Damian Maia. So I think it's the fight that makes the most sense. And I don't think he's necessarily going out of his way to talk mad shit. I just think he's being asked about it quite a bit. And I mean, Conor does that shit all the time, even when he's not fighting. I mean, how many guys has he caught at every single weekend? No matter what weight class is fighting, Conor's calling them out on Twitter, trying to steal their shine. I find that annoying. But I think Masvidal versus Conor is the fight to make. So I have no problem with him angling for that fight. It makes sense for both guys right now. It's been talked about quite a bit. There's a lot of fans that want that fight. Sign me up. Dustin would piece up Chandler so bad. I would favor Dustin. Conor should fight Bobby Green. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. What are the nightmare matchups for all the weight classes champs? I don't know if there is nightmare matchups for all the champ. I'll just say who they're most likely to lose to. Not that they would lose, but who they're most likely to lose to. You'd look at Davison Figueiredo, most likely to lose to Brandon Moreno. Aljamain Sterling, most likely to lose to Petr Yan, even though he just beat him. Alexander Volkanovski, most likely to lose to Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira, most likely to lose to Islam Makhachev. Kamaru Usman, most likely to lose to Khamzat Chimaev. Izzy Adesanya, most likely to lose to Robert Whittaker. Glover Teixeira, most likely to lose to Magomed Ankalaev. Francis Ngannou, most likely to lose to Jon Jones. Carlos Esparza, most likely to lose to absolutely in everyone in the division. Valentina, nobody. Juliana Pena, gotta be Nunes. For sure, gotta be Nunes. So there you go. I hope that answers your question. I don't know if that's nightmare matchups, but who are they most likely to lose to? There you go, my friend. Okay, let's see. Keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the questions coming. We're an hour and 24 minutes in this stream. We'll see how much longer we're going to go, depending on how many questions we get. Keep filling the chat with questions. Okay, let's continue. In retrospect, I know I wouldn't have been competitive, but I wish we saw a cross promotion UFC and ONE FC fight between GSP and Ben Askren. Would have set a cool precedent chance. I don't. I think GSP would have murked Ben Askren, and there was other fights for GSP at the time. Izzy versus Usman. How would the 45 division champion do against top 5 55? Izzy versus Usman. I would favor Izzy. I think he'd stuff the takedowns and outstrike him. I mean, Izzy has very good takedown defense. Plus, he's bigger than Usman. I think he stuffs the takedowns of Usman. I think he has great footwork. He's constantly moving side to side. He's feinting this way, feinting that way. And I think he picks apart Usman and probably brutally KOs him in like the second round. I favor Izzy very much over Kamaru Usman. And then how would the 45 champ do against 55, top 5 55? I think Volk could beat Oliveira. I think Volk could beat Poirier. I think Volk could beat Gaethje. I think Volk could beat Islam. This is all non-answers because a lot of the top 5, I think it's 50-50 for Volk. And it's a coin flip for me. I would flip back and forth each way. I'm not confident in anyone. I think Volk could beat Oliveira, but I think Oliveira could beat Volk as well. I think, Dustin Poirier could beat Volk, but I think Volk could beat Dustin Poirier. So it's tough. It's very tough. Do you think Kevin Holland ever had a chance to become champion? Absolutely not. I hate Leon Edwards. The hate Leon Edwards gets baffles me. He goes for every tough fight in the division. If it's open and he's a straight killer, what else could you want from a fight? I know. People are acting like the man's ducking fights. I've been a vehemently defender of Leon Edwards. The dude has accepted a Colby Covington fight. The dude accepted a Woodley fight when Woodley just lost the belt. He accepted 3 Khamzat Chimaev fights. He accepted a Jorge Masvidal fight. The guy is open to any and every fight, and they've gotten canceled. Most of them not even his fault, and he continues to get shit on for it. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. Leon Edwards, I know his win streak isn't that great, but the guy is willing to take on all the tough matchups, and now it's just time. It's time for him to fight Usman. It's the second time. If he beats Usman, that'd be a great win on his resume. If he loses to Usman, back in the line for him. That's what I think. So, I think Leon gets far too much hate. I would agree with you. I watched Tough earlier. A 43-year-old man who was on Tough 2 and last fought in 2009 got TKO'd by a 27-year-old Mexican who weighed 30 pounds more than him. Surprisingly entertaining. Jeez Louise, who was watching this? I can't believe people are watching this. Nightmares. Moreno, TJ, Max, Islam, Khamzat, Whitaker, Yuri, Jones. Fair enough. Diaz versus McGregor 3 is the fight to make. The trilogy must happen, in my opinion. I would love to see that fight. I'm sad that it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully it comes to fruition. Valentina versus Santos who has a better chance to win? Valentina for sure. Leon Edwards has looked elite in his last 2 fights. Diaz, Bilal, compared to his previous fights, improved so much. I know people forget how good he looked against Bilal before the eye poke, and the fact that Bilal has looked good since then as well. So, I believe that Leon Edwards was on his way to stopping Bilal Muhammad. He was just lighting him up on the feet. He was aggressive. Unfortunately, the eye poke happened. There's nothing, we can't take that away. It was a no contest. He should have a win over Bilal Muhammad, who's currently sitting in the rankings at number 5. That's a solid win. He was going to win that fight. No doubt in my mind that he was going to win that fight. But unfortunately, it doesn't exist now. And also, people forget he took that Bilal Muhammad fight on short notice as well. And I know Bilal took it on short notice too, but people tend not to give credit to fighters who are already scheduled for fights and take a totally different opponent. He was supposed to fight Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev pulled out for the second time, took Bilal Muhammad. He wanted to stay. When he was supposed to fight Khamzat Chimaev in January, Khamzat pulled out, and he wanted to stay in and fight Chiesa or Magny. But unfortunately, the UFC said, no, we're rescheduling you versus Khamzat. So it's one of those things where Leon deserves more respect. I could see UFC doing Pena Durandamine too if Pena wins. Stop it. I have no desire to see that fight at all. Is Conor only going to fight killers and big names only? He's going to fight. I think Conor's going to come back and try to take the biggest fight where he has the highest probability of winning that fight. If I had to guess, it has to be either Nate Diaz or Tony Ferguson would be my best guess. Conor McGregor returns against those. I think if he's only coming back for one or two more fights, they got to make the Jorge Masvidal fight. But I think that's too risky of potential for Jorge Masvidal to win that fight against Conor. And I really think they want to get Conor McGregor back on the winning track. So it's one of those things where I don't know, but if I had to put money on it, if you ask me who does Conor return against, it's either Tony Ferguson or Nathan Diaz for the trilogy. I think those are the two most likely fights for Conor McGregor. But boy, would I would absolutely love to see him versus Masvidal. I think that would be the biggest fight the UFC could put on. And it makes the most sense right now. You have Masvidal, who's on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost twice to Usman. Now he lost to Colby. You have Conor, who's on a losing streak himself. Lost the last 2 fights to Dustin Poirier. One where he broke his leg and the other where he got brutally KO'd. It makes perfect sense. Conor says, I don't want to go back to 55. I want to fight at 170. So, and Masvidal is not a huge welterweight. He used to be a lightweight himself. So, I would love to see that matchup. I think it would do massive pay-per-view buys. I would be hyped for that matchup. I think stylistically, it is a very fan-friendly fight. But we'll see what happens. I'm actually going to do a poll real quick. And we'll see who you guys want to see Conor fight in his return. So let's get some options. Who do you want to see? Hold on one second. For some reason, who do you want to see McGregor fight in his return? Let's see what you guys want. Why isn't this? So for some reason, the poll's not working right. Give me 1 second, guys. Poll. Let's give you a couple options. For some reason, the poll is lagging. It is lagging. Okay. Nate Diaz. Let's go Jorge Masvidal. Okay. And who else? Tony Ferguson. I think I might have a typo in that. I don't know why the poll's acting up right now. Or we'll do one last option, Michael Chandler. Okay, I'm about to post the poll. And I want you guys to go vote in the poll. I hope I gave all the legitimate options. So guys, go vote in the poll. And let me see if I can catch up to the chat in the meantime, and then we'll revisit the poll. I didn't realize how dominant Aspinall was versus Volkov until I watched back some of the London card today. Brutalized him. Nobody done that to Volkov before. I agree 100%, man. He just went out there and dominated him in every aspect. And then submitted him with a straight armbar. Unreal. Absolutely unreal for sure. It was a solid win too. And I picked Volkov in that fight. I thought Volkov would win by decision. Honestly, I don't think the UFC will book McGregor Masvidal. They're more likely to try to give him guys favorable matchups to build them up again. Imagine they give him Cowboy Cerrone for this rematch. The Cowboy Cerrone rematch. I'm curious what you guys want. Who you think would have won, Prime Volk or Prime Conor? Prime Volk. If a journalist uses a journal, what does an analyst use? Stop. Opinion on Bilal, not a great striker, has decent wrestling, has decent cardio. Going to be a contender for a while, but never going to be champion. Khamzat versus Leon, when they were first ever scheduled, who would have won that? I would have favored Leon. I would have picked Leon in that fight. That was December of 2020 where that fight was originally scheduled. It's sad. Conor versus Chandler is better. There you go. Do I win a prize? Which current champion isn't good for the UFC and needs to be replaced to expand the sport more? Isn't good for the UFC. Isn't good for the UFC. I guess the least promotable champion, probably Carlos Esparza. Men champion, maybe Glover. If you had to make a pick between Glover and Yuri, who gets the next shot? If you had to make a pick between Glover and Yuri, who gets the next shot? What do you mean who gets the next shot at what? Yuri's getting the next title shot. I want to see Conor versus Masvidal, but I don't think it's happening. Yep, I agree. We just went over that. I got to go with the Nate Diaz trilogy. Yeah, I would. I mean, I love all the matchups that I gave you. Considering Ferguson may retire soon, I want him to get a red painting night. Also, press conference would be amazing. Oh, the press conference would be so good. Do you like Ariel? I don't like or really dislike him. You know, I used to not like him when he worked for the UFC and he was a complete shill. Now it seems like he's getting paid by YouTube boxers to promote them. But I don't really pay too much attention to him. He's definitely, good for the sport, though. He's one of the best interviewers for sure. Remember when Conor wanted to fight Diego Sanchez? Oh, my God. He should be embarrassed of himself for that. Of all the things that Conor McGregor has done, I think that's the most embarrassing thing that he's done. Prime Conor would absolutely pick apart Volk, and I love Volk. I disagree. Okay, let's see what the poll is getting. Guys, go vote in the poll. Go vote in the poll. We got 50 people in here, and only 25 people voted in the poll. Come on, guys. Come on. Let me go vote on my personal YouTube channel. I'm going to come to the live chat, and I'm going to vote. Let's take a look. Okay, switch. Why haven't you guys all voted? Come on now. Now I'm going to vote myself. Which fight do I want the most? I don't even now that I'm here, I don't even know which one I want. I'll go to Jorge Masvidal. I just think it'd be a huge fight. But I really don't think you can go wrong with any of them. I guess I might as well like my stream while I'm here. Okay, now I got to figure out where I was at. Prime Conor. Okay, already read that. Which a better card on paper, 275 or 277? Probably 277, but it does hurt that it lost Paulo Costa to Luke Rockhold. I can't between Ferguson and Diaz for the poll. Those are the two most winnable. So you want Conor in the most winnable fight. For me, if anything, I just want Conor in the biggest possible fight. For me, it would probably be Jorge, then Tony, then Nate, then Chandler. But honestly, I'd be okay with any of them. Now I lost my spot again somehow. Okay, here we go. Joey, your bitter hatred and complete derision towards Carla is laughable and welcome. Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Who gets the winner of Glover Yuri? I meant who gets the winner of Glover Yuri. Probably Jan Blachowicz. Maybe Magomed Ankalaev if he beats Anthony Smith. Chandler versus Conor. Who is an awkward fighter in the UFC? Who is an awkward fighter in the UFC? Tony's awkward. I'm sure there's more. Rose is super awkward as well. Tim Elliott, most awkward probably. Okay. Dude needs to do some MMA training himself. I don't know what you're talking about there, but okay. I would prefer to see Masvidal versus Thompson in a rematch. What? I have no desire to see that rematch. If Moreno's wear and tear, though, 2 wars against Figgy going to affect him? It's possible. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I think Moreno is just so durable, so good. Ferguson would kill McNuggets. I think it's a very close fight. I'd probably pick Ferguson, but I don't know. Don't want to see Conor versus Masvidal. Masvidal's overhyped. Masvidal has better wins recently than Conor does. Yuri is the most awkward. Definitely crazy fight style for sure. Sean Strickland gets smashed by any top 5 middleweight in my opinion, but what do you think? Does Sean Strickland beat Adesanya? No. Does he beat Robert Whittaker? No. Does he beat Jarrett Cannonier? It's possible, but no. Does he beat Marvin Vettori? No. Does he beat Derek Brunson? Possible. So I'm pretty much on par with you. We're roughly on the same page. We are roughly on the same page. So it looks like most people have voted for Jorge Masvidal. We'll leave the poll up for a little bit longer to try to get a larger sample size is what the words I was looking for. So I can't believe it's only 11:47. I don't know what time. I think I jumped in here around 10. Guys, we're almost on a 2-hour stream. 2-hour stream, guys. This is insanity. Insanity. Time flies by when you're talking MMA. That's for sure. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. We're going to check the... Hold on just a second. Is there anybody in the stream right now who found the stream and subscribed to the channel tonight? That's what I would love to know. I would love to know that. Put that in the chat if you found this stream and you randomly subscribed tonight. Because we picked up a few subscribers tonight. I don't know if they're from other videos or what. We now have 3,464 subscribers. Okay, now what was I doing here? Oh, okay. Okay. I just don't know if Conor takes Masvidal or Chandler fight next. There's a reason why he took the Cowboy fight. I agree. Yeah. He decided to take Cowboy. Cowboy on a losing streak being finished. And instead of Gaethje. Tai Tuivasa have a title shot in the future. If he beats Cyril Gane, yeah. Is there an MMA fighter in particular, active or retired, that you'd want to do a live stream together with? I have no idea. That's a tough question. I've never really thought about it. I'm sure there is, but I don't know who it would be off the top of my head. What's your opinion on the UFC scoring fights? Well, it's the Athletic Commission that scores fights. I just think we need to get more education and more judges, would be my opinion. Do you see your channel potentially interviewing UFC fighters? Believe it or not, some of the members on Discord already know this. I will be doing my first UFC fighter interview this month in June. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, I will do my first UFC fighter interview. So there's a little sneak peek. If you want to know, become a member of the channel, join the Discord. Most of the people in the Discord already know who it is. Some of you who watch the channel regularly who are not members might be able to guess as well. But if you want to become a member of the channel and join our members-only Discord and know who I'm going to interview this month, here you go. Here's the link. It's also in the description. You get a bunch of benefits, but the members-only Discord, we discuss MMA news every single day. I update stuff, what I'm working on the channel, if I'm going to stream tonight, if I'm not going to stream tonight, videos I'm working on, new gear I'm buying, new investments in the channel, future ideas I have for the channel, and we just talk about all the latest MMA news. I honestly can't wait for Miocic Jones. I hope they announce it soon. I mean, that's going to be a fun fight. Gane has 0 wrestling, so giving Francis wrestling credit on that fight is silly at best. Okay. Honestly, middleweight is a dying division. I think it's just because we have a dominant champ. I think that's the reason. Is Conor on PEDs? I don't know, man. He hasn't been tested. But I'll say no. I'm not a medical expert here. I like Conor, but don't know if my heart can handle Masvidal chopping his already broken leg, then KOing him. Could you imagine his leg breaks mid-fight, but before the referee can steps in, Masvidal hits him with a standing elbow and KOs him? I love Tai Tuivasa. He's my favorite fighter, but I doubt he wins any fights in the top 5. I'd probably agree with you. For sure. Hey, Joey just got in from work. Hope you're doing well. Blatant Express, thank you for joining the live stream. Hey, congrats on the interview. Big step up in a growing empire. Thank you. Who's your pick on Felice versus Carolina? Honestly, I haven't even put any thought into that. That's not a fight that I'm super interested in. I'll probably go Carolina. I never thought Felice Herrig was any good. Do you think UFC 277 is worth going to in person? Yes, I do. I think it's a solid card. Maybe they'll add something else to it. It's still got some time. Who's the worst fighter in the heavyweight division? I'll say Alexei Oleinik, but there's probably worse. Chase Sherman, there you go. Chase Sherman is the worst. If Rockhold beats Costa and Alex beats Sean, the middleweight division becomes exciting. I agree. I've talked about this. I actually have a video on the channel about Rockhold versus Adesanya, and I talk about all those possibilities. Conor has done some dumb stuff, but a huge part of me wants to see him have a fairy tale ending. It's never going to happen. Guys like that, It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry beside you. And I personally, just from all the dumb shit he's done, punching old men and shit like that, I personally don't want to see the fairy tale ending. Chase Sherman and Jarrett Vander. Yeah, that's another good one. Right on, Joey. Thanks for the show and the response. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, Blatant Express. Thank you for the $5 donation, man. I really do appreciate it. We've got quite a few donations this stream, and it means a lot. It means a lot you guys are willing to donate your hard-earned money to the channel, and thank you very much, Blatant Express. Felice isn't good. She's going to destroy Carolina. I'm going Carolina. I'm going to pick her. She used to be semi-decent. I don't even remember the last time she fought, to be honest. It's been a long while. Guys, I do this every once in a while. If you've been here before, you probably answered it like 7 times already. Put in the chat, where are you from? Like, where are you watching this stream right now? Be as specific or as non-specific as you want to be. I'm always genuinely curious because there's so many people who watch the channel from all over the world. There's people in Abu Dhabi. There's people, from Kuwait watching the stream sometimes. So if you already answered the question before, just answer it again. I'm curious. Where are you guys watching the stream from? Answer in the chat. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Aaron Blanchfield versus J.J. Aldridge prediction for tomorrow. I'll probably go Aaron Blanchfield. I just think she's better. She's better overall. It's crazy. That's the first fight on the card though. So we'll see. We'll see. GTZ share. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. Sleepless Omni Man is from California. It's crazy when you think about how Jose Aldo lost horribly to Conor. Now knowing how vulnerable he is to leg kicks. Yeah, I mean, Conor clipped him early. Your YouTube channel is underrated, man. Buffering. I don't know what that last part means, but I appreciate you, man. I'm glad that it's underrated. I'd rather be underrated than overrated. We're going to keep growing the channel. Florida, star of highest powers from Florida, North Carolina, Arkansas, and I hate the way Arkansas is pronounced. It looks like Arkansas to me. Is it pronounced Arkansas or Arkansas? Everybody I've ever heard say it says Arkansas. The spelling drives me nuts. Looks like Edson is dodging Topuria for now. Really? I don't know. Canada, Northern Virginia. Yeah, beside you, you're kind of close to me. Around Dallas, Texas area. In my garage working on my rig. Pity's and STI always in the garage working on his rig, man. I appreciate you listening, man. Right now it's 12, so 11, 10, 9. It's only 9 o'clock where you're at on the West Coast. Blanchfield for sure. Looks like Blayton agrees with me. How would Chris Barnett versus Justin Tafo go? I think the fight would be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Somebody's getting KO'd. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I'd probably go with Chris Barnett. Victorville, California. Awesome. Watching from Calgary, but just visiting here from Brooklyn. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Anaheim, California. It's crazy. Everyone from all different places just watching the stream. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoy these streams, even when there's no MMA news going on. None. Chicago, Barboza, Topuria prediction. I'd probably go Topuria. I just think, Barboza's on the downslope of his career. I've picked him one too many times and been wrong. And I'll probably go Topuria. I like the way he's been looking lately. But especially if it's at 45 and not 55. If it's at 55, I'd probably lean Barboza. Do you think Chris Dawkins will go down to light heavyweight? He looks small compared to Curtis Blades, even though they're the same height. I think he probably should, but I think it's doubtful that he will. Nevada. Jose Aldo let Conor get in his head, lost the fight before it started. Is Usman on the juice? I have no idea. Who has the coolest name in the UFC? I don't know. Give me some options and I'll tell you. I can't think of any off the top of my head. If Conor didn't KO Aldo in the first 13 seconds, how would you see the fight going? I think Aldo would have won. I think Aldo would have chopped the legs. I think Aldo would have been able to, outlast Conor in the cardio. But both guys are very similar. And it's crazy. People forget. Conor hit him with a left. And he hit Conor with a left, I think it was too. A left hook. They both hit each other simultaneously. In that fight, Conor even got a big cut over his eyebrow. They both landed one punch. Just Conor put him out. And Conor was more powerful. Southwest Scotland. That's insane. Appreciate your support, White Magic. Jersey, Nebraska. I wonder how long it will be before we have a scheduled match for the light heavyweight title. Most people are thinking 278, which is in October, or 280 or 281 in October. Do you think Bryce Mitchell has a chance to beat any one of the top 5 or even become champ? It's possible, but I don't think he beats Volk. I don't think he beats Max. I don't think he beats Ortega. He could definitely beat Yair. He could beat Calvin. He could beat Chan Sung Jung. So yes, he could beat the top 5. Champion, I'm not sure. Scotland is cringe. Okay. Curtis Blades, cringe. Scotland looks lovely. Blood Diamond is yeah, and he got dominated though. But yeah, that is a cool name. I'm Scottish. I'm just joking. Curtis Blades is a name straight out of Mortal Kombat. Okay. Who wins between Masvidal and Leon? I think Leon picks him apart. I think Leon picks him apart on the feet and wins. And I also think he could out-grapple him as well. Especially after that last fight gives me more confidence. Okay, let's end the poll that we did. I mean, this is super close. 22% say Nate Diaz. 24% say Jorge Masvidal. 24% say Tony Ferguson. And the winner with 29%, Michael Chandler. So you guys want to see Michael Chandler, then either Tony Ferguson or Jorge Masvidal, in dead last Nate Diaz, but barely, just barely. So we almost have a 3-way tie for second place. They're all so close. So we're going to end that poll. Michael Chandler wins. You guys want to see Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Let's continue. Los Lunos, New Mexico. Awesome. How have you been? It looks great. It's Scottish people that aren't so appealing. I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else in the chat. I've never been. What do you think about the fake record that Askar Marzov had to change? If you haven't heard it, it's really interesting. We talked about it earlier. I don't know all the details, but that's not a good look at all. That's a terrible look. Absolutely terrible look. So, I don't know. I don't know what happens from here, but that's going to be a stain on his legacy for his entire UFC career. Conor versus Jorge, Aldo versus Cruz, Colby versus Dustin. No. Conor versus Jorge, yes. Aldo versus Cruz, Colby versus Dustin, I have no desire to see that. Yeah, it's pretty beautiful if you like grass. LOL. Which fighter looks least like a fighter? Ryan Hall. I'll say Ryan Hall. Jordan Levitt, maybe. You already got your tickets for UFC Singapore? Are you talking to someone else? I'm not going to Singapore. So no, if you're talking to me, then no, I do not. Is anybody in this chat going to UFC Singapore? That'd be awesome. It's the first event ever there, which is pretty cool. We are creeping up on 2 hours of stream. And it's only 12 o'clock. It's really not that late on a Friday. How long should we stream tonight, guys? That's what I need to know. How long should we keep this stream going for? How long are you guys going to be up? Let me know in the chat. How much longer should we go? Is Ronnie Yaya the most attractive UFC fighter? Yeah. That one you want to hear? Yes, he is. If Chandler doesn't get the McGregor fight, I think he'll end up fighting Poirier. That's a fight we talked about a lot earlier. I'd love to see that matchup. It's a lot of fun. But Poirier, big time Michael Chandler when he first entered the UFC and kind of minimized his Bellator career. And then now Chandler's in a better spot and Poirier wants to fight Chandler, but Chandler's like, nah, dude, you big time me before. So it might not happen. Do you feel bad for the women's 145? Who would I feel bad for? There's nobody there. So no. Patty, the buddy, now he does not look like a fighter. I think he kind of does. Half hour? Okay. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. We're creeping up on 2 hours. Guys, if you want to continue the stream, you got to keep posting questions in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. We almost have 50 likes on the stream. So if you haven't liked the stream yet, go like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's at least get over 50 likes on the stream. For 2 hours, these streams are for you guys who are subscribed to the channel. Most of the people who watch these streams are already subscribed to the channel. So I do these for you guys, and I enjoy doing them. So if you guys would just run up the likes for me, I need you guys to do it. I need you guys to like it. What is your bedtime, Lamau? I don't really have a bedtime. Sometimes I go to bed early. Sometimes I go to bed at like 2 a.m. and wake up at 6, and it's just headaches nonstop. So it's actually pretty crazy. But I don't have a bedtime. What's everyone's bedtime? Let me know. Have you ever trained in martial arts? Yeah, man, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Nobody told you? No, I'm just kidding. No. No. Let's see. Yeah, now we got 52 likes on the stream. Maybe we'll get it to 60. I just wonder how many people. I'm curious if you guys miss a stream, like especially a 2-hour stream, and the answer is not going to offend me one way or another. If you guys miss this stream, would you go back and watch this full 2-hour stream? Is anybody in here would go back and do that? I always wonder how many people, like if they miss a long stream like this, do they go back and rewatch it? I know there's some, but I'm genuinely curious if any of you, if you missed this, would you go back and rewatch it? I know it's a lot to ask, so that's why I'm saying I wouldn't be offended one way or another. Let's take a look. See. When is your dog gonna make a guest appearance? It was on here on the 1K sub stream when we hit 1K. Getting close to 3.5. Yes, we're very close. Steady climb. Yeah, dude, the subscribers. I mean, we've gained. We've gained about. Let me actually check. I posted a community tab. Let me go check real quick and I'll tell you. I posted it when we hit 3,000. So we hit 3,000 subscribers 3 weeks ago. So we've gained 500 subscribers in 3 weeks. Roughly, I don't know what the date is. It just says 3 weeks ago on the community tab. I don't see an exact date on this. I wish I could see in a date, but it just says 3 weeks ago. So it might be going on 4 weeks. I don't know, just because of the way it is. But that's crazy. That is crazy. 500 subs in 3 weeks. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys watching the streams. Appreciate you guys watching the channel. The best thing you guys can do for me is when you watch the regular videos, watch them for as long as possible. You know, YouTube favors watch time. It's the most important thing. So if you watch a video for 2 minutes and then click off, it's not as likely to recommend that video. So when you watch a video, try to watch it till the end. That's the best thing you can do to support the channel. No. When is your dog going to... Okay, I already read that. Bedtime when my wife calls me up. Anytime between midnight and 6 a.m. Same. No. Depends on the title. Okay. No. Yeah, I know it's long. It's long. Sometimes, like, if there's something I watch, I'll go back and watch some of it. But, you know, 2-hour stream is a lot to ask. Yeah, I go back and listen during work if I miss a stream. Appreciate you, Mario. Appreciate you. Yes, when I miss a stream, I rewatch it. You rematch it, actually. I appreciate you, man. I'm just curious, you know. Yeah, I watch the streams I missed. Thank you, New Mexico. I would just always wonder that. I wonder that, like, how many people, because YouTube doesn't recommend these streams really much after the fact, because a lot of people see a 2-hour, you know, a 2-hour stream, you know, to other people, because people just aren't likely to click it when it's 2 hours or even an hour long. Joel Alvarez versus Bobby Green prediction. I'll take Joel Alvarez. I picked Joel Alvarez over Arman Saruki, and boy, was that pick wrong. You should try to make YouTube shorts. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's for me. Random question. Have you ever been in a fight? If so, when and what happened? It's been a long, long time. So, I've never lost a fight. So, I can say that, but we're talking about when I was a kid, basically. I don't think I always rewatch, but sometimes. No big deal. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'll listen to Kill Time. That's awesome. Yeah. And we talk about so many different topics on here. Sometimes I rewatch. That's awesome, Brandon. That's awesome, Brandon. Okay. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark. If you guys want to go to 2.5 hours, start posting some questions in the chat, and that's what we'll go off of. But if not, we're going to wait to hit the 2-hour mark, answer a couple more questions, and then I'm going to get out of here. I don't know if I'm going to stream the fights tomorrow. I've debated about it. The card's just so bad. The card is just so bad. I don't know if I can stomach it. But maybe we'll stream the like 3 fights on the main card or something along those lines. I'm exiting out of a bunch of tabs right now. Don't need this tab. Don't need that tab. Don't need this tab. Okay. Is Paulo Costa in big trouble? I saw his name in the headlines the other day about. I don't know. I have no idea. It seems like, he might be in trouble. He might not be in trouble. He's already posted memes about it online. So I'm assuming it can't be that big of a deal, but it definitely ain't a good look. Paulo Costa has not done anything that's looked good on him in years. He made all them excuses after the Adesanya fight. The missed weight for the Marvin Vettori fight, and now this, it's just not a good look. But he's hilarious on Twitter, but that doesn't matter. I was undefeated in bar fights in Thailand in 2018. Awesome. I watch your channel because it's a lot of fun hearing your opinion on fighters and MMA, really. Thank you, Jonathan Hera. I appreciate you. I'm glad. I love hearing stuff like that. That's what encourages me to keep making these videos, keep doing these streams, because it takes a lot of time. Believe it or not, it takes a lot of time. I'm going to upgrade my computer before the end of the year, and I'm going to start pumping out videos left and right. Can't wait. But I'm glad. I mean, just the fact that anybody cares about my opinion on MMA is really awesome. So, what do you think about Dana White said about pulling UFC boxing? I mean, the guy's been talking about, we're working on Zuffa boxing for literal years, and then nothing ever comes of it. So that doesn't surprise me. The first thing I thought of was he probably can't take advantage of the boxers as much as he can the UFC fighters. That was my first thought. So that's why he doesn't want to do it. Okay. Paulo already posted memes again. I know, I saw that. That's why didn't I already say that? But yeah, that's hilarious, Mario. Dude just posted memes. Dude is the biggest UFC troll of all time. Did you post a picture of your new monitor in the Discord? I posted a picture of the order, but I don't actually have the monitor yet. I ordered on Amazon. It's supposed to come Sunday. So yes and no? Yes and no beside you. It's in the channel updates tab. Channel updates tab if you're looking for it. I posted a screenshot of what I ordered if you want to go check it out. It's a 32-inch monitor. Dana rants about De La Hoya's gold. Dana used to go on a lot more rants back in the day. I mean, the guy used to just pop off in scrums. But then it just seems like somebody silenced him a little bit. Maybe didn't want to get as much, as much bad publicity, kind of. I think that's what happens. I think Zuffa boxing was all smoke and mirrors to keep boxing promoters out of MMA. Yeah, it could have been. I have no idea. I just always thought it was horseshit, to be quite honest. He kept saying, right around the corner, we're working on Zuffa boxing. I mean, this was going on for years. So, yeah, boxers have the Ali Act, so UFC would have to pay percentages to fighters. Well, that's probably the reason. Who do you think has the best chin in the UFC? Best chin in the UFC? Maybe Max? I don't know. Jon Jones. I'll say Jon Jones. Dude's got hit and never really even appeared to be like he's hurt. What do you think of the future of Cody Garbrandt? I always liked him, but it's been a rough few years. I mean, the UFC gave him a favorable matchup in Ronnie Yaya. And if he can't win that fight, his career is over. I think he can still have some success. And I still think he's one of the best 135ers. But it's hard to fight at an elite level when you have a massive off switch right on your chin. I think Cody Garbrandt still has amazing skills. I think he has great boxing. I think he has a great variety of attacks. I think he's very fast. I think he has good wrestling, good defensive wrestling, good offensive wrestling. But the off button on his chin is always going to be a massive liability against the best of the best. And so it's hard for me to imagine him making another title run, but I still think he's very good. I think the skills are still there. But, I mean, look at the durability of him versus a guy like Marlon Vera. That off switch, he's going to get put to sleep. Maybe he KOs Ronnie Yaya. Wouldn't doubt if he fights Sean O'Malley after that and gets slept. Because the chin is just too much of a liability. I like Cody Garbrandt as well, and he's an awesome fighter to watch. I hope he can make a career resurgence. But, man, he's going to have to start fighting a little bit smarter. He can't expose his chin the way he does. Dana's Ranch used to be so goddamn funny. Yep. That monitor is clean as hell. It's going to be super useful. Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to get something for a while. I want to get a PC really bad, just for rendering 4K videos and just overall speed and stuff like that. But they're so expensive, so I'm going to wait till I make a little bit more money on YouTube, probably by the end of the year. Because when I buy something, I like to get the top of the line, just the best of the best. So I'm going to probably buy something by the end of the year. The one I have my eye on is like $3,000. It's a pre-build with a really nice graphics card in there, and I've watched some reviews and stuff like that. I'll probably get something like, I hope the price goes down a little bit before the end of the year. But yeah, that's my next setup. So I'm going to have the monitor. Then eventually I'm going to get the PC, which is going to have crazy good render times with an amazing graphics card. I recently bought, I used to type on my laptop and use my touchpad. I recently bought a wireless keyboard here. I don't know if you can see that too well. And a really nice mouse too. So I think for the mouse and keyboard was $200. I think it's the MX, Logitech MX. Good night, brother. Good night. Best chin, Max Holloway. If Max loses again, where does he go from there? I guess he goes to 55. I don't know. There's not a lot of good options for him, to be quite honest. Do you think Tony would fight in Eagle FC after the UFC? Probably. I want to see Adrian Yanez fight Cody Garbrandt. Adrian Yanez has a fight this month against Tony Kelly. Yeah. What are the chances Glover gets to win? 50-50. What truly got you into MMA? Was it a friend or you just buy a pay-per-view? I always wanted to watch MMA, but what really sold me is 100% hardcore fan. Somebody asked me this early on this very stream. I ordered Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen, and to watch Anderson Silva get beat up for 4.5 rounds and then sync up that triangle choke to win the fight after 4.5 rounds of getting the piss beat out of him. I said, I got to watch every fight from here on out. And I think I've missed very rare fights after that. It's very rare that I was missing a fight. I remember how hyped I was for Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva too. Chael Sonnen versus Yushin Okami was solid as well. I was always pumped for Anderson Silva fights after that. So that's what's really got me into it. Yeah, your setup is going to be fire when you get that PC. I know it's going to be awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Just anything I can do to make making content faster, and just better overall. You know what I mean? If I can make 90% of my videos in 4K, or even, when I really want to get a video out fast and I do it in 1080p and it renders in 30 seconds, a minute long. It's a 10, 12 minute video in 1080p and it renders so quickly. And I'm going to hardwire my PC when I get it. And that way I get a full gigabit connection instead of what I've been getting now. I use an adapter to get Ethernet right now on my laptop, because before I kept having lag issues with streams. The channel by this time next year, the channel is going to have massive upgrades, and hopefully we have 10K subscribers next year, or over 10K subscribers by this time next year, because I want to hit 10K at the end of the year. Okay. It looks like we're out of questions, guys. Does anybody else have any more questions? We're sitting at 3,464 subscribers. We have 54 likes on the stream. We have quite a few donations tonight. This has been a very successful stream. I think we're going to do, if you've been part of the members Discord, you know this, but I think I'm going to start doing, before every pay-per-view, the day before, doing a long live stream on that Friday before pay-per-view. So probably next Friday I'll do like a 2-hour live stream, 3-hour live stream the day before UFC 275. So keep an eye out for that as well. Carla Esparza versus Rose Namajunas had me rethinking buying every pay-per-view. That fight was garbage. I haven't really watched him much. I know who he is, the guy with the beanie and the wheelchair, but I haven't really watched him much. But he seems all right. What's your favorite? What fight is your all-time favorite? Probably Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald. Let me just double check something, because they fought twice and now I can't remember which one was which. Rory McDonald. So it was Robbie Rory 2 with the 5th round TKO. Dariush versus RDA. I wouldn't mind seeing that. RDA has to get by Fiziev first. But if RDA beats Fiziev in July, I think it is, I'd love to see that matchup. Do you think that Joanna and Zhang 2 just as good as the first one? No way it lives up to the first one. There ain't no way. There is no way that it lives up to the first one. The first one was the best fights I've ever seen. Rate UFC 276. It's got to be a solid B+ or an A. Something like that. Agreed. I don't know what we're talking about. That's what somebody sent me. I seen a thumbnail with that. I thought so. So were you a Chael fan back in the day? Not really. He was kind of fun, but I wouldn't say I was like a massive Chael fan by any means. I would say if anything, I disliked him, but not like a lot. But I was a huge Anderson fan, so you had to be anti-Chael back in the day if you were an Anderson fan. Who has the best chance to touch gold again? Cruz, Connor, Burns, or Vettori? Jeez Louise, Tyler. You throwing out the tough questions tonight. Who has the best chance to touch gold? Jeez Louise. Best chance to touch gold. I will say Connor because he has the best chance to get a title shot off of a win that doesn't even matter. So I don't think Cruz is probably ever going to fight for a title again because of the depth of the division. I doubt Burns ever fights for a title again. And I doubt Vettori ever fights for a title again. Connor, he could come in and beat up Diego Sanchez, even though Diego Sanchez is no longer in the UFC, and get a title shot. So, in my opinion, he has the best chance. If I had to rank it, I'd say Connor, Burns, Cruz, Vettori. Do you ever watch old UFC fights? I'm talking single-digit events. Not really. I have occasionally, but not much. Weili versus Joanna, who are you picking? I'm probably going Weili. I just think she hits harder. Joanna's going to have the ring rust after being out forever. The new monitors come Sunday? Yes. Can't wait. Do you think steroids automatically remove you from the GOAT conversation? I don't know, man. Kinda, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people are cheating too. So, RDA versus Fiziev? I'm probably going Fiziev. Fiziev's striking is just hard to deny. The guy just looks so good. RDA is getting up there in age. It's one of those things, but I'll probably go Fiziev. You think Fiziev versus Sarukian for fight for a title one day? I could totally see that. And that's a great fight. The lightweight division is full of amazing prospects. Fiziev, Sarukian, Gamrot, Gillespie. There's probably other ones that I'm not thinking of. My man Tyler, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you. Sorry I'm late though, friend. Didn't even know you were streaming and I had notifications on. That is highly annoying, my friend. I wish YouTube would have sent you the notification, man. That's annoying. But better late to never, man. Better late to never. And now you're here. And now I feel like I got to go for a little bit longer, man, because now you're late. You came in a little bit late. Now you sent the donation. Well, we'll have to stick around for a little bit. Few more minutes. Gregor is the biggest flop in UFC history in terms of potential. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, there's a lot more people who had a lot more hype that flopped, like Johnny Walker, Kevin Lee. There's others. I actually did a PowerPoint presentation about the UFC and its history for my college public speaking class. Says a lot about how much of a fan I am. That's crazy. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. For sure. You got to join the Discord. So, yeah, I do post. If you want to become a member of the channel, Tyler, it's $3 a month. You can cancel anytime. You get a bunch of benefits, but one of the benefits is the members-only Discord. And every time I'm doing like one of these like more random streams, I post it in the Discord. I let you guys know like an hour ahead of time or a half hour ahead of time. Hey, I'm going live in a little bit. And then I post the link in the Discord as well and tag, or somebody post it and tag everyone. So, Gregor Gillespie. Yeah, I'm assuming that's who he's talking about. But Gregor Gillespie, I don't feel like he had a lot of hype. He had a decent amount. Colby Khamzat is confirmed. No, it is not. We were just talking about the prospective fight We were just talking about it. It's hard to believe. I still have Robbie Lawler's tab open. It's hard to believe that second fight was 7 years ago. If you have not seen Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald 2, whew, that was an amazing fight. An absolute amazing fight. I hope Colby Khamzat happens. Could you imagine they make that like a main event of a fight night card? Whew. That'd be incredible. My throat is actually starting to hurt from talking, which is crazy. We've been on here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I took a little bit of a nap earlier, so I'm not super tired. That's why I've stayed on for so long. Okay, let's continue on. Guys, keep filling the chat with questions. Aspinall said he will never sell himself. Do you think self-promotion is important? Yeah, but I don't think you have to be somebody you're not. I think if you're good, you will sell eventually regardless. You know, Chael Sonnen thinks everyone needs to talk mad shit and do this and do that. I mean, look where that got him. I believe he is bankrupt, posting 26 videos a day that are 6 minutes long, where he talks in circles, and there's an intro and outro and an ad for like a minute and a half somewhere in there. So, you know, he sold himself, and look where that got him, you know? So, I believe your skills, don't get me wrong, there's some benefits to selling yourself. But I think there's some people who just don't want to be somebody that they're not, you know? You know, and some people think you should do that. I think it's a bad look, especially if you can't do it well. I think it's a detriment. You know, I could probably come on here and act crazy and probably garner more interest by acting like a total fool, but that's just not who I am, you know, just at a smaller level. You know, I'm sure Tom Aspinall can go out there and act like a madman, but if that's not who he really is, you know, it's just, I agree with him. You know, you can go out there and you can prove yourself with your skills. Figueiredo versus Sterling, who wins? I think Sterling outgrapples him. Lawler versus Barberina, who do you got? I got Robbie Lawler, but that might be biased. Robbie Lawler is one of my favorite of all time. What's the wildest fight you've ever seen in the UFC? Probably John Lineker versus Francisco Rivera. Which fight are you looking forward the most to tomorrow? Dan Ige versus Movsar Evloev. It's always a good night when MMA Joey streams. Thank you, VT. Appreciate you, my friend. I'm happy to hear it. This is for legitimate MMA discussion and real knowledgeable opinions, not trolls. We built a great community here. For sure, VT. I appreciate it, man. And for the majority of the stream, we are talking about MMA, which I know people really appreciate. But we built a great community here. We don't get a lot of trolls. We don't get a lot of people screaming casual this, casual that, and this and that. We're just having fun, educated MMA discussions. And that's all I care about. That's all I want to do. We have some fun. We have some laughs. We talk about people getting stretchered out of the cage with no serious injury. We have some good times. I mean, this is, as far as MMA goes, this last year has been very, very fun building this community. And I'm happy to have every single one of you guys in these streams. I appreciate you guys. Evloev is a top prospect. I think he's decent. I don't know about top prospect, though. If you had to pick one fighter to invest in for the next 5 years, who would it be? O'Malley, Pereira, Shavkat, Royval, Bryce Mitchell. Easy. I would go with Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think he has highest potential to be a champion and to be a star. Next up would probably be O'Malley, just because, I mean, the guy's already super popular. Last would be Pereira. Next would probably be Bryce Mitchell, then Royval. Damn, stole my comment, but always enjoy your content, Joey. Thank you, Robert Sterling. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate having you as part of our community. Riddell versus Turner will be a banger. Who do you have? Early prediction, I have Jalen Turner. I just think he's too well-rounded. I haven't been super high on Riddell, but he's very good. But I would go Jalen Turner. But when it gets closer to that fight, I'll dig deeper in and do a full breakdown and prediction. Because that's a great fight. That deserves a prediction video, for sure. I always cut, because I have no idea how long these streams are going to last sometimes. So I always come locked and loaded, guys. You got to stay hydrated. especially when you're talking for 2.5 hours. My investment over 5 years is O'Malley because of his upside and entertainment value. Yep, he's number 2 on my list. Yeah, it's crazy seeing all the new people joining the streams. I know. Think about it from compared to a year ago. Compared to a year ago. Insanity. Absolute insanity. What changes can the UFC make in the future? What do you mean? Be more specific. What do you mean by that? I don't know what changes you're asking for. MMA Joey is a genuine MMA content creator. I put you top 5. You, Guru, Burt, Weasel, Molly, Whopper. Who's number 1 though? Person 1. Who's number 1 on that list? Don't butter me up. I'm curious. Rank them from 1 to 5. You guys are asking me questions, ranking fighters and who's the best, this and that. Rank your favorite MMA YouTuber. What's the sleeper fight on tomorrow's card? Probably Dan Ige Evloev. Honestly, nobody's talking about it, but it's a solid fight. Turner is massive for he's humongous. He's very lengthy. He's like a lightweight version of Jon Jones. Who is in your top 5 all time? In no particular order: Anderson Silva, Jon Jones, Jose Aldo, GSP, something like that. I don't think I named another one. Demetrius Johnson, Stipe, maybe. That's in no particular order. Will Derek Lewis ever touch the top 3 again? No. A year ago, we would get like 10, 20 people max. Yeah, we're slowly growing. On the big post fights now, what we're getting, like 100? Over 100, I think. I don't remember now. For some reason, I'm forgetting. Are you a fan of live scoring? Me personally, I hate it because the tension at the end to see who wins instead of knowing before. Yeah, I'm not. I actually have a video on the channel. I have a video on the channel. I'm not a fan. And it would ruin it, and it wouldn't help anything. My top is Joey for live stream, bro. That's how you build a loyal community. Exactly. That's what I said earlier. I don't know if you were here or not. I do these live streams for the existing subscribers. Yes, we gained some, but this is mainly for the people who are already here. Do you think Caio Barallo is a good prospect? Yes. I don't know how good, though. Molly is pretty good. Are we talking about Molly McCann? What about her? I forgot what we were talking about. Caio is a prospect to watch, trust. Yeah, I think he's pretty decent. I've seen him on the Contender Series. Weasel is good, but no live streams. All his videos are already made and prepared. I can't spend that much time on his channel. Yeah, I really don't watch. I don't really watch. This sounds crazy. I really don't watch any MMA YouTube for the most part. Very rare. Like, I'll check out other channels here and there just a little bit just to see what's going on, what they're doing. But as far as like really like paying attention enough to like know what they're doing, know what their opinions are, I really don't got time for it, to be honest. And there's not a lot that I like, you know. There's not a lot that I like, so missed it. But you're right. Okay, you're right about being yourself. If Strickland loses a fight, he will be viewed as a weirdo. He's only popular right now because he's winning. You're probably right. What's next for Michael Chiesa? I would like to see Michael Chiesa. I think he has a fight. Doesn't he have a fight? But I'd like to see him against Li Jingliang. I think that makes a lot of sense. Will Kelvin Gastelum make a rise again, or will he just sit around top 10 for the... I think he will make a rise again. I still think he's one of the best in the world. I think he has a decent chance against Cannonier. I thought he already beat Cannonier. I think he could beat Vettori as well. I think he can beat Derek Brunson. I think he can beat Strickland. I think he can beat Costa. I think he can beat Jack Hermanson. I think he can beat Darren Till. I think he beats Uriah Hall. So the only person I do not give Gastelum a chance against is Whitaker and Adesanya. They're the only two I don't give him a chance against. So I still think he's solid. Okay, guys, we're going to get a couple more questions, then we're going to end the stream. We're 2.5 hours in. So if you guys have a question, throw it in the chat. Best female fighter to challenge Valentina. It's got to be Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes. Askar Askarov versus Alex Perez. Definitely going. I don't know, man. Askar Askarov didn't look that great in his last fight. I'll probably go Alex Perez. I think he's underrated. What do you miss about Benson Henderson's skills in the UFC, and what do you think about the Nate Diaz beatdown in their fight? I really like Benson Henderson's activity more than anything. The guy was perpetually fighting over and over, active, super active, fighting 3-4 times a year, defending his belt, fighting the top contenders. You know, he wasn't a big finisher. He wasn't super popular. but the guy was very good. So I actually miss him. He was one of my favorite fighters at one point in time, and I still like watching him. But it's just not the same Benson Enders, man. I always feel bad for Dominic Reyes. Everybody thought he was the future light heavyweight after he fought Jones. Then he fell off. Yeah, you're right, man. And that nose issue is going to be a perpetual issue from here on out. It's just going to be a perpetual issue. I remember hearing that Patty got upset at the Weasel for criticizing him. The Weasel never said anything harsh to begin with. Just said that he's not a top fighter. Yeah, I could see it happening for sure. Man, I wish I was here earlier. No worries. Yeah, we'll do more. We'll do more next week. We'll be going live. We'll be going live next Friday before UFC 275. True, she did beat her twice. I like Pena odds. I suspect Amanda until a rematch. She looked checked out. Did you see Guru's new video? No, I did not. Thanks for the stream, Joey. None of my friends in real life are a lot of people are like that, man. They don't have any true MMA friends that are big fans. If there's for some reason they did a rematch 2016, McGregor Aldo 2 in featherweight, what do you think would happen? I'd pick Aldo, but McGregor's power at featherweight was brutal. But I'd pick Aldo to win by late stoppage. Simon versus Shore. That's a tough fight for both guys. I'll go Jack Shore. I'm very high on Jack Shore, but it's a hard fight. Thoughts on Stephan Bonner return? Maybe that was a rumor. I hope he's not returning. I don't want to see him fight. The guy clearly already has CTE. I don't need to see that. Sweet. Yep. If Adesanya beats Cannonier, what's next for him? Because I feel like there's nothing for him at middleweight. Do you think he should try to move up? He will fight Alex Pereira if Alex Pereira beats Sean Strickland. If not, he will fight Luke Rockhold if Rockhold beats Costa. If both of those guys lose, I think he'll fight Sean Strickland. So he has some options. He has some options there. Also, I do a live chat, the weekly live chat every single Wednesday. Hold on, let me sit up. I do a live chat every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you don't get notifications, all else fails. Every single Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, I do a live stream. Me too. No MMA friends. It's weird. Some of my good friends are from the Discords I'm in. Gotta join an MMA Discord for this channel. You are good looking, you hairy bear. Okay. Where's the link? Well, right now, we're debating about it in the future, but right now the Discord is members only, but you can sign up for 1 month and join the Discord, and then you can cancel if you want. It's 1 month. 1 month is $3, and you get a bunch of benefits to become a member. So if you want to become a member, I'll post a link in the chat real quick. But the member Discord is awesome. We're discussing MMA every single day. There's the link if anybody wants to become a member. Ortega versus Rodriguez. I'm taking Rodriguez, but I could easily see Rodriguez getting out grappled by Ortega as well. It's a 50-50 fight. Mario's laughing about something. I'm not sure what one. I guess he's laughing at this would be my guess. But thank you, always slapping. You can see my analytics. I mean, we got a 10% female demographic on the channel. You know, you think that's for anything? You know, I know why that is. After this Muay Thai Grand Prix, Rod Tang is moving full-time to MMA at 24. Do you see him having success in MMA, even though suffering a defeat to Mighty Mouse? I think he could have some success. Only time will tell, though. Would you like to see what would you like to see next for Marlon Vera? I like the Piotr Jan fight. I love that call out. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. VT, thank you for becoming a member, man. Let me know if you have any trouble finding the Discord link. If you have any trouble, just let me know. But it should be in the community tab. You should be able to pull it down and join. All you do is go to my channel. Let me just tell you real quick. So you go to my channel, go to MMA Joey channel. You go over to membership, right? And you go to show perks and info. And at the bottom, it says exclusive Discord server. Click here to join the members only Discord. And you should be able to join. Appreciate you for becoming a member, man. You get a bunch of extra benefits. There's a bunch of member streams that I have privated for members only. You get a badge next to your name. You get a bunch of emojis you can use in the chat. And you get the members only Discord. I post a bunch of behind the scenes stuff on there as well. So just let me know. Just send me a comment if you have any trouble, but you shouldn't have. Topuria versus winner of Ige Mozar. Topuria has a fight But Topuria is rumored to be fighting Barboza. Sweet, nice. I'll check it out afterwards. Thank you for becoming a member, man. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate your support, and I'm happy to have you in the members Discord. We're building an awesome community there. Crazy how Vera would be number 1 if he beats Yan. Does he deserve a number 1 contender fight after what he's done so far? I don't know, but if he beats Piotr Yan, no doubt. But I would like to see him against, I wouldn't mind seeing him against Merab Dvalishvili as well. I wouldn't mind seeing him against Sandhagen. I wouldn't mind seeing him against O'Malley if O'Malley can win again. There's a bunch of different options. There's a bunch of different options for Marlon Vera. I mean, he looked great in his last fight. Topuria tweet. Yeah, it was just rumored at this point. Wouldn't surprise me. Santos versus Hill. I'm going to go Jamal Hill. I'm very high on Jamal Hill. Santos just hasn't looked the same since he blew out both his knees in the Jon Jones fight. Okay, guys. I think that does it. We hit the 2.5 hour mark. We got a bunch of donations. We got a new member. We got a bunch of likes on the stream. We got some new subscribers. If you have not liked the stream yet, make sure to like the stream. I might stream for some of the fights tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. They're at weird times, and the card isn't that great. You'll see. I'll schedule it on the channel if I decide to go live for the fights. Thank you guys all for joining me tonight. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your guys' night. And I think that's it. Goodbye. Have a good one.